Stuff, mumbling, pineapple stuff, dabbling, controversial stuff. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. N-I-C-K, mumbling is right here. People in the house, put them hands in the air, cause if you don't vote, then we don't care. 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 6, jonesing for your fix, so that dabble politics mix. So where the fudge you at, punk? Shut the fudge up and back the fudge up while we fudge this track up. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 You wanna mess with dabbling in politics? You can't mess with dabbling in politics. Listen, we debate it all every week Saturday night, and the shoot-shoot thing right here. Yo, we're doing it all the time, so you better get some better views and get faith up on your dime. So we got the gang set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school dabblers blasting out the political shit. The back and forth shit, put bounce in the dabble pit. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Retort in, now retort out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 Hey ladies, where you at? Hey fellas, where you at? And the dabblers that don't give a fuck, where you at?
Welcome to Dabbling in Politics. I am Mumbling Nick. With me, as always, is Liquid Cryptid. Sorry, it's a little dark where I am right now. I have the option of the stupid room I'm in of putting a light on and it glares or not. So we're going. Everyone's here to see John and Liquid Cryptid anyway, so it doesn't matter. But John,
we're here to hear you. We're here to listen to you.
John is live with the big three. He's wearing his I Stand with Ukraine shirt. So I'm gonna bring John on and we'll let the sniping begin. See if we get any good stuff here.
Oh, we won't, but it'll be funny.
Just have to turn him up.
And you don't have the capacity to actually understand what's going on. You need to.
He's got his admiral background on too.
Started jokes,
yes,
and leave the intelligent stuff to the grown-ups.
And Brian,
the intelligent stuff. These guys,
you know, so many presidents, and you interviewed everyone since Ronald Reagan. Did you find this as disgraceful as I did?
Well, that's a loaded question. How disgraceful did you find it?
They must be talking about this.
Well, I was embarrassed for my country and sad for President Zelensky, who's got to sit through these cowards bullying him when he's on the ground fighting with his fucking troops.
He hasn't fought a goddamn thing.
I in 41 years of covering the White House, I've never
Zelensky
seen
never served
more,
anything, by the way.
Disrespectful of a guest.
He dresses
than
like
what
it.
they did to.
Well, yeah, most
Zelensky
dictators
in the
do.
White House. Never mind.
They love that
whether you agree with them or
paramilitary
not,
garb
you
for
just don't
some
treat
reason.
Guests in your own home that way, and And anybody who's a Trump fan, I guarantee you, if you get to know them well enough, most of them wouldn't treat guests in their home that way. Most of the people who support him are far more decent than he is. It was an indecent act. It was an immoral act, and it completely ignored facts. And let's start with a few of the facts.
Here we go.
What got this going was Trump said, last question. And then J.D. Vance decided he's going to pipe up and defend the president and say, hey, if President Trump had been in the presidency, if we hadn't lost that fake election in 2020, then this invasion never would have happened. And at that point, Zelensky asked to speak. He didn't just roll over him. He said, okay, I've heard what you say. May I say something? And then he pointed out the fact
That's
that
not what happened at all.
the invasion did not occur then. The invasion occurred in February 20th, 2014, 11 years ago.
Not the
when
invasion.
Russia invaded Crimea, which is part of Ukraine.
There you go.
So they've
When
been fighting this war
fighting
I know what
for
he's
a
saying.
when
decade.
Putin started.
And the
yeah.
reason why
Right.
Trump doesn't want to mention that is because he did absolutely nothing during his first administration.
It's like
to fight
Obama
back.
and Biden did.
So he can conveniently blame, if you really
As I
want
was
to
saying the other
blame it on
day, when
anybody,
it
you
happened
go
under
back and
Biden,
blame-
or
no,
sorry,
it
by
happened during
Obama, nobody
Obama's
even knew
watch,
about it.
which would
Right,
be,
right.
part and parcel for Donald Trump. That'd be his motive of doing, his modus operandi. But he didn't do that because then that would bring him into question for what he did or did not do. Number one. Number two, I'm tired of seeing reporters in this briefing room, and I think his name is Brian Glenn. I remember his first name because it's mine, but the right-wing guys who all start out their questions with, gee, President Trump, you're the greatest thing since vanilla bread. And, I love watching you shoot rainbows out of your butt. Aren't you the greatest person on the planet? Oh, by the way, why are you wearing a suit? A stupid question on so many levels. Let's start out with the fact, as you pointed out, John and Richard, as you pointed out,
We'll
here's a
agree
guy
on this
fighting
fact,
for
but it's
his
not
life.
very important.
When
to the
he was
subject at
offered an
hand.
off-ramp when the invasion spread
Well,
from Crimea
Brian's
into
all
the mainland
about
of Ukraine.
the
We said, hey,
journalist
give you a
angle.
flight ticket
Right,
out of
right.
here, give you money to come out
He
of here. and
thinks
you can
that
fight it in absentia. And he said,
In
screw
order
that.
to be a journalist,
Send me
you have to have
lawyers,
some
guns,
sort of,
and money. This
you
shit
know,
has hit the
specific
fan. So,
education
and
or
if you don't know the
resources.
song, look it up.
Like he
So
still
he's
believes
saying
that.
he's going to stay and fight. So there's some, and at first everybody, even the Trumpers were on board. Yeah, there's a courageous man.
Trying
Now
to make it
Donald
look like
Trump
I'm
is
looking at the
convenient
thing.
in his transactional view of the world to paint him as an anti-hero. So he does so because he has sided with Vladimir Putin. He has, and
not.
that's that. Him in China. That's the axis of evil now.
I
and
think he
we're part
respects
of it.
Putin a hell of a lot more.
That
I'm
was
with you.
the
It's
other
tough
thing
to say
that,
he's
that
sided,
went
but
wrong.
I think
But
he's siding
finally,
with
and
him.
at the end of
to
the
be
day,
fair, but
look, who has worn
I don't
See,
think he's siding with
anything but a
Putin, but
suit
yeah,
in
as
there?
as
Saudi
you said,
Arabians
I think
haven't.
he's
Yasser Arafat
respects
Winston
Putin. I mean, you have
Churchill,
to.
when
The
he
guy
showed
is in
up
charge
during
of
the Second
a
World
large,
War,
powerful
did
nation.
not wear.
I don't
He
respect
wore
him. You can,
fatigues and
but
not a suit.
I'm not really
That's a
respecting.
stupid
I don't know.
question, and
Zelensky.
it belittles the entire thing. I mean, what's next?
I'm all
What
over the
color
place on
underwear are
him,
you wearing?
but-
Hey, do you
It's
like
tough to
thongs?
respect Zelensky.
I mean,
it
what
really
the
is.
fuck is that all about? It was a disrespectful all the way around in that White House, and
I'm
it's
sick of this
disrespectful to the people.
Respect.
Ask,
the-
and
I don't know,
I
this,
saw this happen on Air Force One in a gaggle with
I don't know what you want to
supposedly
call
the
it,
most
but there's
experienced
there's a
reporters.
certain
Donald
etiquette
Trump
involved. Like,
came
I'm
out
sick of
and
the
said,
etiquette shit.
Russia
Let's
has
get down to
all
the
the cards,
important stuff.
and they're going to get. Well, excuse me.
I can see where
Germany
you're
had
coming
all the
from.
cards on Russia in World War II when they invaded, and millions had died. They've had soldiers that have died too. So Russia, why don't you just give up what Germany has already conquered? That's bullshit. It's the same as telling us that after Pearl Harbor, those brave Japanese, they really went at it. I guess we're going to have to give up Pearl Harbor.
This is a completely
To say
different
that
situation.
Zelensky and Ukraine
Look
doesn't
at
want
John, he
peace is
lost.
also
Yeah, we're talking.
disingenuous.
It's
They
like,
want peace.
as I
They're
said
just not
before,
gonna
it's
surrender.
literally a
Yes.
border
Having
dispute between
been
two
there
former
myself,
Soviet
Right,
I can
right,
tell
yeah.
you for
countries.
a
They were
fact
both Russia.
that those people would rather die than become part of Russia. And that's their sovereign right, and we should be defending those people.
And that's Europe, as a whole. They don't have no love for Vladimir Putin, and they don't want to go back not
Of course
only
John's
about,
lost.
during the Cold War.
He's
John has
absolutely
absolutely
right.
no
Yeah.
idea what's
What
going on.
happened
He's
here.
searching
The
Twitter
Baltics
and Super Chat right
despise
now.
Russia.
He's not
Make no
listening at
mistake
all. Look
about
at
it.
him.
Poland
No,
they will fight. And
as much as I rag on Army Major Karem, at least
I
they,
hope
they have
you're
some
wrong,
semblance
Richard,
of what's
'cause God
going
bless
on.
it. That
you
is
know.
World War III at that
it
point.
is.
Oh yeah,
it
everything they
is.
say is
Unfortunately,
absolute
we'll probably
bullshit.
put
And
boots on the
they
ground
don't
in
know
favor
what they're
of
talking
Russia
about.
and go after our
I agree,
democratic
Chris. I
allies
think we all
that
agree.
we helped
That was a
rebuild
bad
after World
comparison.
War II. It's
Yeah.
just against our own. Everything they're doing is against
They
our
keep
own
trying
stuff.
to conflate,
It makes
Germany's
no
invasion
sense.
of
And by the
Poland
way,
with
that's what European
Russia's
leaders are. When I talk to my contacts in Europe,
invasion
they
of
go,
Ukraine.
"What is this plan?" Well, we don't see a
Yeah,
plan.
not
And I
every
have to tell them,
attack or
"What
war is
plan?
apples and
It's all
oranges like these guys try to
transactional.
make it
What
out to
can
be.
Donald Trump get the most
Exactly,
money
like
out
they're
of
trying
right
to say,
now
like,
for
oh,
him?"
appeasement's
And
just
no
going to
one-
make Putin
Well,
another
let me
Hitler.
ask
It's
you
like
guys something,
Putin is
because
specifically
the
stated
Republicans' talking point was, well,
he doesn't
Trump
want to get any
asked him
closer to
wear a
NATO.
suit, so he was being disrespectful.
No, and that's not true.
Oh, that's not true.
He walked up. That's bullshit. First of all, if
Thank
it were true, who the hell are you to
Evie,
tell
we
me what
not to give
wear?
it away, but we are
He's
going to have a
he's
special
wearing that
Ojeda episode
solidarity
in a
with his
couple of weeks.
troops.
So
That
Thank
is
you.
that's
we'll,
what
we're going to be
that's all
covering the
about.
men's.
And where's
Hopefully,
all
you'll
the
be there.
outrage with friggin'
But if you want
Elon
to get
Musk
him
wearing a
rapid
damn
fire
t-shirt?
blinking, just
Thank
call him
you.
just send him a
And
super
a
chat
MAGA
saying he's
hat.
an
A MAGA
idiot.
hat, a T-shirt that says tech
Hypocrisy.
with
Yeah.
his human shield on his
Like this-
shoulders, you know.
this-
But also
I
the
actually,
other
I do
people
believe the.
for 3 days
At first, I
into
didn't
this
want to
war,
really believe it, but yeah, I'm
they
thinking like
uncovered
Elon is
that
using his kid
Russia
as a
had
human
plans
shield.
to immediately after they take
Oh,
Ukraine to go into
yeah,
Moldova.
I think so.
And if they go into Moldova, they're going to go into Romania. They're going to go into Poland, and that's what this is going to go. Nobody has said, Vladimir Putin, what's your end state? And he don't want to say it.
But I was.
Oh, he did say it.
Let me ask you guys. I
He's
was
trying to
watching
keep NATO
Apollo
at bay.
Yeah,
go through the
And
history of
the
Ukraine and
Nazi
saying
thing.
Putin has every right to be pissed because we expanded NATO to when
Exactly.
we promised we wouldn't.
No, Chris,
to
please.
his
We
border.
want this to be
And
interactive.
it was
Have
our
at it, man.
fault that we did that.
That
and
goes,
that's why
Spurge.
he's
Yeah,
pissed.
Spurge
Ron, have
away.
you heard this
Yeah.
kind of rhetoric?
That's crap, and here's the reason why. First of all, we expanded NATO because he expanded and is trying to push against Europe. So it was in reaction to
Good job,
his
Face.
hegemony. And
He
by the way,
expanded?
if you really want to
How
take
did-
a look,
how
I
did
have friends of mine
Putin
still
expand
in the
Russia?
DoD that weren't purged.
He made it bigger.
Good sources have
He
had for
took out a
years.
Sharpie like
You
Trump
tell me
did.
that the reason why Russia is so
This is now the Gulf of
threatening right
Russia.
now,
Fuck
or
you
Yeah.
guys.
so panicky, if you want to use that term, is because they've only got about a year left before they collapse. They're bringing in 12,000 North Korean troops to try and reclaim part of Kirk's region that was seized
Oh,
back
look
by
at Blinky go.
Ukraine.
I can't
They've
stop seeing
used
it now.
Iranian weapons and help. They're using Iranian and North Korean assets to pursue a war against Ukraine. That
I
tells
thought
you
that
how
was actually
desperate
kind
they
of
are.
funny how
Their
the
economy
North
is a
Koreans
tenth
actually
of the
got like
size of
raffle
ours.
stomped.
They have lost
in
and cannot
Ukraine.
replace a lot of the
It's just
hardware
like-
and manpower that they've lost in this war against Ukraine. So my DoD sources say if we hold
Oh, his
on
DoD
for a year,
sources.
Yeah,
and if
He's
we're
got
able to keep
DoD
this
sources.
fixed,
Look
they don't
out.
like what Donald Trump's
you
doing,
can
but if
trust
he
the guy
does
with
strike a
DoD
deal with
sources. I'll tell you
Zelensky
that.
for
Forgot to
rare
turn off
earths,
gestures
and
and
they
I
kick the
ran
can
away
down
from the camera.
All
the
right.
hall, or down the field for a
Want me to
year,
take you
then
down while you mess with
this
this?
could
Nah.
easily
Okay, all right.
end itself because Russia
just
will
need to
have to come to the
Get back
bargaining
into the
table,
seat.
and they will in effect have to surrender because they do not have the economy. This exception that we treat Russia with, I don't get it. It's like they're exceptional. They're Russia. Well, screw them. They're just bullies. Thump them in the nose and tell them to go home.
Oh,
Trump is
yeah, it's always a mess.
Yeah.
I remember the
Yes,
God, I'm gonna
And
forget all the
I-
countries, but all
to
Isn't
their-
all the
President
Baklias
is
like in the 90s when I was in high school.
yeah,
They're all
but everything
fighting
that
each other.
Donald Trump is saying is we're going to
Oh,
give
yeah,
everything
well,
that they want.
when we were growing
And
up, it was
they're going to give us the deal to
Czechoslovakia.
go get $500
Now it's
billion worth of
Czechoslovakia and the
rare
Czech
minerals.
Republic.
You have,
What
like,
does
all that.
Ukraine get out of this? What do they get? They get nothing. They lose everything. They lose their democracy. They fall under friggin' Russian rule. All their resources and everything goes everywhere except to where it needs to go for them. And once again,
They
this
stop
is-
dying
this
for no
is
reason
Donald
in a war
Trump
they can't
giving
win.
his
Yeah,
buddy, who
like I
probably
said,
has
it's
speed
tough. It's
tapes
like
and
you don't
shit like
want
that on
to give
friggin'
up your
Donald
land,
Trump.
your people,
Let
and
me
die
tell
for
you
nothing.
what
But at some
Putin
point,
was.
I mean, you're not going to
Let
win.
me ask you guys.
You
and
gotta
just to change the
you gotta
subject
count your
quickly.
losses and
I knew this was
stop
imminent,
new people from
and I
dying.
predicted this, and I'm sure both of you.
Yeah,
gentlemen
exactly.
did as
You know,
well.
at what point do you just say,
Now that the economy is
yeah, too many of us have
tanking,
died in this war.
I knew it was only a
and all
matter
we
of
got to
time
do to
before
stop the
Trump
war is stop
supporters
fighting it.
point the finger at Joe Biden.
Of course.
And now, Brian, you know, Richard, you know, and I know, just much like Obama, Biden left Trump a robust
Oh,
economy.
shut up.
Unemployment was at
Don.
its lowest rates. And what again
It was not.
does
It's
Trump
been
do?
artificially.
He fucking torpedoes it.
Listen.
Yeah, John, how you
I
doing?
will
You're
even
fucking
give
killing it,
Donald
right?
Trump
You're killing it
No,
right
the
now.
benefit of
the
the
stock
doubt,
market
say
was
the big reason
artificially
why
propped
he
up. It's
crashed
been pretty
Obama's
obvious
Yeah,
since.
I always
economy is because
tell
of
people
COVID,
you
and-
can't even
and
go by
of
the
course we know
stock
that he
market.
jacked up
That's
the
like
response.
I got my
But
401k in
6
there.
weeks
That's about
into
everyone
his
else's rich people
presidency,
fucking
he took the
they can
greatest
artificially
economy
inflate,
of
take
all
down all that
time,
shit,
an
pump and
economy
dump.
that was helping other countries
I got
stabilize
several
themselves.
stocks, but a lot of
That's how
mine,
good
but
our economy
I
was.
moved mine
And he has
into
killed it. I mean, inflation,
sort of recession,
restrictions,
depression.
these are words everybody
I've
needs
been
to
waiting for the
learn
stock
because
market to
that's what
crash after
reality is
Trump
under Donald
got in
Trump.
office, after they,
Everything that he promised
got rid of all
was
the
absolute
artificial
bullshit. He
whatever they were
told you
doing to prop it up for
dumbasses
Biden.
what he knew that you wanted to hear, and
And
now some
I'll
of you
even say
dumbasses are
the
still
first whatever
refusing
month,
to
a
accept
few
the fact
months
that you are
of
a
the economy, it
dumbass.
usually
So
is the
now
last
you're
president.
changing your
So
talking points to, oh my
this
gosh,
is Biden right now.
Zelensky's
Just
evil.
like when Trump
This is
first
a
took
man who
office,
is fighting
it was
for his
Obama the
country's
first few months.
survival.
Like it goes
This
both
isn't a
ways.
man who daggone
This is true,
is,
yeah.
he didn't
Well, I
blow
mean, I
$8
usually,
billions
well,
in
the
fleeing.
economy actually sort of
Stayed
moves
right
slow
there.
in
He's on the
reaction to
front
stuff
line,
a lot of
Right.
and
times.
he's showing what
So
real leadership
usually you
is.
can say like the
Putin
first
is a
year or
friggin'
so is the
enemy
previous
of the
president.
Yeah.
people, and that's no matter where you're at. And Donald
And
But then
I
after that,
guarantee,
it's current
absolute
president. Yeah.
sycophant
I
of
guarantee you
Daniel
these
Blair.
guys were
And
saying
there
Obama,
is in the
Trump was
DOJ
taking
who told me
Obama
that,
credit for Obama's economy the first
they
year he
used
was
to
in
think
office
that
in
Trump was
2016.
just a useful
And now they're
tool
trying to act like
Absolutely.
for
4
Russia.
weeks in, he
And
tanked
now there
Biden's
are even
robust
those in
economy.
the
What
DOD who are
robust
questioning
economy?
whether or not he is
This is the
actually
shit
an
that
actual
infuriates me.
asset of Russia after
And
the
it's not like,
statements to the
as I said
United
before, it's not
Nations
like these guys
by
are
our,
rich. They go out and do
by
their
our
own grocery shopping.
delegation about
Yeah,
refusing to
it
back
is.
up the condemnation of
You know,
Russia
they
for
see the food
invading
prices. They see the prices on
Ukraine,
things.
and for the
We all know
absolutely
now there are certain
foolhardy,
numbers you can
foolish,
use
and
to make an economy look good or look
disingenuous
bad,
claim
depending
that
what
somehow
numbers you want to
Ukraine
use,
is
what the point you're
responsible
trying to
for
make
this
is.
war.
Exactly.
At the
And
same
cost
time,
of
you're
living
right,
compared
John.
to
They ginned up.
what people are
They
getting
have
paid, it's not good.
and
It
we
wasn't
all
good
know
under
this is going
Biden
to
at
happen.
all.
He's going to blame in descending order. It's going to be Obama,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Hillary
Chris.
Clinton,
Like I'm
Joe
about the
Biden,
money.
the
Chris
Democrats,
put up a thing saying
media, and
everybody knew that they
maybe
were propping up the
uh,
economy numbers with trickery.
I don't know,
Yeah, these
warts.
downturns were
Maybe
expected.
his
Yeah.
genital warts. He'll blame
Um,
anything but himself
I
for
put
whatever
my,
happens.
my
The
investments in my
economy he
money
inherited
above,
was
my
solid.
political leanings.
The underpinning to the economy, the thing that enabled him to
And
scream about
yeah,
the economy was
I
one of
was
the things
obviously
that
been propped
wasn't
up. I've
following with the strong. And by the way, the
been
strong
waiting
economy,
for the
just to
actually
interject, is
the
simply
stock
because after
market to
COVID,
tank.
it was Joe Biden's
It's getting ready
administration
to.
passing $1 trillion
I can finally move a bunch of money
that put people
and
to
do
work
some
and
buying of stuff.
reinvested in America. Now, the
I've been waiting
Republicans
for the
would have
economy
you believe
the stock
that
market
led to
crash.
only
Actually,
6 EV stations
As the liberal
somewhere
here, I don't think Trump's
middle
going
of
to do
Los
good things for
Angeles,
the
when in
economy,
fact
but
there's
I'm not going
not.
to
If you
blame him
look
for the
around, and I've
first
driven
for
around
what
and been around this
fucking
country, all 50
Biden did that
states
got
during the
us
campaign, and I can
what
tell
every
you
fucking
that there
president. I
is
don't know.
construction in every
I don't think the
state,
economy's been
and
good
it's
my whole
due
life,
to
but
that
that's just
infrastructure
me. It's been better at
construction is
times and
due
worse at
to
times.
that
this is
bill that passed.
true.
Yeah.
Like when
The
we were
underpinning
like
that they
first
have
starting out,
scored on
we
is
were
the
just
price
getting
of
out of the house.
eggs.
They were
And
in
he
a
said
small
immediately
depression at
when
that
he
time. I
became,
remember.
when he got in
We're
office,
both about
eggs,
the same age.
eggs
Yeah.
would go down. Well, they haven't, of course. Eggs have gone up as other prices have. He's going to blame Obama for as long as he can.
Thank you, too.
And the
We're-
fact of the matter is,
there's a
do
lot
not
of
expect Donald Trump to
a lot
ever
of similar
expect,
shows in the
you know,
Dabbleverse.
take
We're
any
trying to just bring a
responsibility
straight
for
up
any of his
political
actions.
show because
He
people
will
seem
blame
interested in
everyone else
politics
for
in the
as long as he
Dabbleverse.
can
So
until the day he
that's
dies,
all we're
which I
going to do
predict
here.
will be on the
Appreciate
back
having
nine
you
at
here.
Mar-a-Lago as he shanks one in off the, off the tee, probably on hole 8 or 9, and it'll go into the woods, and
Love it.
he'll hit the
I
ground
love
at the
that
same time the
Brian's
ball hits
eggs thing. I
the
saw him
tree
on
off
an
in the woods.
actual like
As I have stated before, the
show
only
with actual people who
time
know
Republicans
politics.
give
It was a
shit
liberal
about
show.
eggs
People
is-
actually know
is when it's
politics.
inside a woman's
And
body.
Karem was
Because
literally the
that's
John
the only
Melendez
time
on
they
that
care
show.
about eggs. This whole egg bullshit.
They were
was
like, you
bullshit
know,
from
well,
the
you know, the price
prices
of
went
eggs
up
have to
on
do
the
with the
Bidens,
avian flu,
not
this,
because
that,
of
and the
Biden's
other thing. And
economy,
Brian
because of
Karem was
the
over here
avian
just
flu.
going, eggs,
That's a fact,
eggs,
Jack. I don't
eggs,
and these
and-
assholes-
eggs at them.
your
And they
point,
just look at
John,
these
you know
guys and they're just going,
No, what
yeah,
the
dude, that's what we're
Secretary
talking about,
of
the
Health,
eggs.
Education, and Welfare said
All
the
right.
other day was,
I
hey,
was just like, was like, oh yeah, would you put Brian and
Your own
or would you put Karem
I
in
wonder how
Ojeda
that's going to
in
work
front of
out for you
somebody
in an
that's not as
apartment in
absolutely
Midtown
stupid as
Manhattan.
John?
Right,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
It turns out,
And
oh, they're
now-
just
and
as
now let me-
stupid as
like,
John.
Both of you, I mean, all of us are
Just
way
a funny
smarter than this
anecdote. I
fucking
was in the
imbecile.
supermarket Friday night, and this
How
woman
does he
put the
think?
cheapest eggs there were $8.50. It was like $8.50 and up.
But
go
God,
ahead.
And she's like,
how does he think that tariffs
I'm like, where
are
have you
going to
been?
somehow
It's
help
been-
the
How long
American
has it been since you bought
consumer?
eggs? Because it's
I
been
mean,
like this for
yeah.
a good time.
for a while
It's
now.
basic math.
It's not, but oh, by the way, he threatens tariffs and then pulls back and says next month we'll kick him in there. We're going to hear that for the rest of his damn presidency. The next month
I
we're
think
going to
Richard is right. He's
That's
going to
what he's
play a
doing.
game of tariff chicken.
yeah.
Talking
And
about
because-
chickens.
Do these
He's
guys
gonna
want
play
Trump to
chicken
put
with
the tariffs in or not?
Rest of his for the remainder of however
We
long he
appreciate it.
lasts.
We're trying to
We're at
figure this
day
out, Pineapple,
49.
because we
This is
figured if
just
we
day
stop it,
49.
this is
7
going to
we'll
run
be
for
here
like
for
My
days.
birthday
hours.
is on
So
day
we're trying our
50.
best. I'll turn
We're
it down a little
halfway through
more,
the
see if it
first
works.
100 days.
Yeah,
And
we're
I
just
tell
sort of
you, I
rolling
don't
with it.
recognize the United States. I don't know.
It's
where
something we
are
discussed
in
for a
the
while
100
before
days,
we
but
did
Donald
this. Like,
Trump
do we
is
stop it? Do we
increasingly,
keep it low?
delusional.
Yeah, since we haven't done
His,
it before, we're
his
just
administration
going with
is
rolling.
increasingly
Oh, and
off
thanks
the
for the
chart.
access
And
to
I just
the
don't see how there isn't some
intro,
blowback that's
Nickel
pretty
Pineapple.
consequential.
He ended
before
up
the end of
giving me
Sounds
access
good.
to the drive.
Oh, okay.
let me tell you a little story, and this happened 2 days ago. I was driving to another county in North Carolina.
Actually, can
and
you
all
turn
of a
it up?
sudden my phone
Yeah, I'm
rang,
gonna turn
and
it up
I
a little
answered
bit.
it, and all I heard was, "You were
Oh
right.
wait, he's back. Never mind.
He's
He's
an idiot." So
Ojeda's
this was
in North
somebody that I
Carolina
actually
again.
blocked on
Yeah.
social media because I actually used to communicate with this person because I travel often and they like to travel, and they would always ask me about travel questions and stuff. And when I saw that right before the election, I saw that she had started posting stuff like, he's going to make America great again. I thought to myself, my gosh, I can't believe that she's that way. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to watch somebody that I've been friends with for quite some time go down this path. I'm going to just remove her, and hopefully one of these days she comes back. Well, that was her.
I got you, buddy.
You were right.
I appreciate it, man. I don't
Don't
really know how it sounds through the headphones. In the headphones,
I
it
was
sounds
at an event
fine, but
in
obviously
North Carolina,
they could be drowning
for
us out.
Ukraine.
So I appreciate it.
and I bet you I
Um,
ran into at least
I'll go ahead
10
and just
people
pull it
that
up
come up to me
and
and
listen to
told
it.
me that they were
I don't go
Republicans
through. Hold on,
and
well,
that they completely have walked away from
pull it
Donald
up.
Oh yeah. Now let me. First of all,
Why now?
Can you hear?
What's new?
You shouldn't be able to hear
What
me.
opened your eyes?
I agree.
I mean, you should be able to hear me,
I
but you
agree,
should
but
be able to
listen,
hear
I
my
agree, but
listening
here's the
to it.
thing. I agree with what you're saying, but every single
No,
person
I
that
don't hear it.
wakes up, we need to start
Oh, I
welcoming
agree
them
with-
back
yeah.
into the fold.
Yes.
I absolutely agree.
Five
with that.
loud
We're
idiots,
gonna
but
need these
thank you.
Trump voters who are now going
Yeah, our volume's pretty
to be
good.
able to beat
Go ahead and
these
say
friggin'
something.
assholes in Washington, D.C.
Can you hear
Brian,
me?
Well, yeah, five loud
Yeah.
idiots.
Is it
Sorry,
your
all
birthday
right,
tomorrow?
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Oh,
Oh
it's
yeah,
Brian
that
Karen's
volume's good. We're
birthday.
talking over
It's
them
my
just
mom's
fine.
birthday on
Okay.
Wednesday. You
Good job,
see,
Mr. Karen.
Good people, they share this very close, very similar birthdays. Look at that.
My mother's is on the 17th. My sister's is on the 21st. All I can say is everybody born in March, June was a very good month for your parents.
You don't want to give all your
Hold on,
birthdays in the
Brian, I have to
Dabbleverse,
do
buddy,
this.
but that's all right.
Happy birthday.
Oh, whatever. We know everything about these
to
guys.
Yeah.
Or can know everything about these guys.
Happy birthday to you.
Jesus
Happy
Christ.
birthday, dear
Please
Brian. Happy birthday to you.
I can't believe they still do the show
my
with this
nipples
guy.
are hard.
I know it's like once in a blue moon, but
No, I gotta tell you, this is how
one of them's running for office.
Brian
One of them
and
has like
Nicole,
access to the White
you guys
House, and they're
agree,
on with this.
Democrats
guy.
are bad.
Well, it's
at
because they're idiots.
Fucking,
They can't-
telling people what they're
Can you
doing.
imagine?
They're
Okay,
the worst fucking.
I have
back?
talked to somebody like this
Well,
in my
I-
family.
I-
Could you imagine
they
talking to
don't-
somebody
I
whose
don't
primary
They don't communicate well.
a
But
source
Brian, let me
of
give you an
political
example of
information
this.
is
I'm
these
sitting
three?
at the bar,
Right.
As everybody knows, this is one of my
I
favorite
have.
places to go.
It
And
was
Have you?
I'm sitting at
embarrassing
the
for
bar,
them.
Oh God,
And some guys indulge in an argument.
it's an old
And he
story,
says,
but that's the
"Thank
biggest
God
reason
for
I
this."
wanted on this
First he
show.
says,
I mean,
"Well,
this
thank
like
God-
John always thought
thank
I
God
had
we have
alternative motives, which I
cars
never
here in
did.
America.
I think it's
God,
pretty
we don't
obvious
live in
now.
cars. And I said,
But
well, you can thank Obama
I
for that.
did that in
Because you're
Ojeda
a
because I've
moron.
told
That's
everyone a
ridiculous.
million
You go,
times.
"Now,
Like I
what's
used to
that? I
like
have it right
Richard,
here on my
and,
phone 'cause I knew you
and
were
he was
saying
always
that."
a little wacky,
And then
but
he goes, "Well, they didn't
he
bail
was
out
much
Ford." I go,
more
"Well,
level-headed. And I don't know what the hell
Ford
happened to the
didn't want
guy.
it. That's why I
But
own a Ford.
this
Well,
was the
Trump called a
liberal.
balloon.
And then I said,
Yeah.
well,
This was
by
the
way,
liberal
all
representation
my
in the
stock
Dabbleverse, and I
didn't
couldn't have that.
Then,
But-
Brian, to your point,
Yeah, right. I mean,
Uh,
I'd be embarrassed if these were the guys that were saying
thank
they were
God
talking
this
for me.
infrastructure.
Right,
It's
right.
Really boosted our economy. And I said, well, that's
Turn it
thanks
up a
to
little.
Joe Biden. He goes, you're a fucking moron. Don't sit next to me anymore. They can't handle the truth. They don't realize this infrastructure bill is actually Joe Biden's doing.
Oh, by the way, but Donald Trump has
Okay.
halted
What?
all of that when he took back over. West Virginia alone lost.
I know what they're
6.5
talking
billion
about. There's
because that was
the
money that was
Biden
still
infrastructure,
available for the
and
infrastructure.
there's certain
Donald
states
Trump and
where
Elon Musk and them took all
they're all
that
happy,
away
but like
so they
Trump's
could do
taking
it.
credit. But the bill never went far enough anyway. It was
Hey, let me say something real quick.
what's his
This is
face
you guys
fucking
are
killed that
my
thing.
deal.
Yeah, wasn't it?
From West
Isn't it just
Virginia.
basically like interstate?
800
Stuff anyway?
Yeah, it's. I'm not saying it's nothing, but in the scheme of things, it's who gives a shit.
Just think about
Yeah.
Real
The
quick,
state-
Echo, when you go live in 30 minutes, you gotta leave the you can't take any of our viewers away. Thanks.
What
In a
they
very
did
public display of
in the
praise.
very public display of praying. But what they did was they shit on 340,099,872 Americans, all so that they can push a shit ton of money to 810 people that are billionaires.
11
So-
of whom
What the fuck is he
worked for
talking
Donald
about?
Trump in the cabinet or on his staff.
Yeah, I'm
Think
not
of
sure.
that. 11
Here we go.
11 billionaires.
Oh.
I just wanted to put this up because this is true. The only three presidents in 50 years to reduce the deficit. That is a fact, Jack. But why do they hate us Democrats so much, Brian? I know you're not a
That
Democrat.
is not a
But why
fact.
do they
Jack.
hate the Democrats so much?
It boils down to this.
They literally
No matter
spent less
how
than they were
low
expecting to.
Republicans
That's how they
raise
lowered the
bar,
deficit.
Democrats can't crawl over it.
Yeah,
They
and I never
allow the Republicans to
like
frame the argument.
as a liberal,
They do
I don't
have
even
arguments
give a shit
outside
as
the
much about.
frame
That's supposed to be a
of which
Republican thing.
Republicans
Well, that's
arrest
true too.
Yeah,
Right.
so I always found that funny too. Like, I'm not that I
And
want to
so,
get out of control, but
the problem is
they
when
love to
you
use the
argue, when you
excuse of the
let someone
deficit to
set the
you know,
boundaries for the
never
argument,
never
you
to
argue
stop
within
helping the
their framework,
billionaires,
you're
never
gonna
to
always lose
tone
because
back
they've
the
set the
military
pace
industrial
for you.
complex.
The fact of the
It's
matter
like,
is
oh, we
that
can't help
one of the
regular people
biggest
because of the
problems that
deficit. So I
Democrats
never
have that I see,
fell into that shit
Donald
anyway.
Trump was very successful because he went out and he listened to his audience. What is it that they want? They want the border wall and all that immigration. Donald Trump didn't give a shit about immigration. He was in Arizona. I think I was there at the rally when somebody said something about immigration and it got a huge cheer. And he goes, "Oh, there's my issue." So he listens and he grifts from what he
Yeah,
hears.
I will say
not
that
immigration,
The
it's
Democrats are
illegal
very good at
immigration,
telling you
by the
what
way.
it is that's
Illegal
supposed to be good for
immigration.
you, but
Undocumented,
without
but-
listening to people. That's where
Illegal.
they lose people is they don't listen.
Neither here
The
nor there.
best Democrats
I'm just
want to
saying,
get elected
I
time
do
again
believe that I
are
have
those who
seen
listen to their
supposedly
constituents and are
insiders
true
say
to
when
their
Trump first
constituents.
time he said
The
some of the
Republicans
immigration
are
and build
very
that
good at
wall,
listening and
build the wall. It got a
improving. You
huge
can't govern
pot.
worth
It just
shit.
became his
They're
thing. That and
fighting with
that
each
and
other
drain the
over a
swamp. He
goddamn
just
bill, over funding.
he got big
government.
cheers, so it
They
just
have
became
the
his little
majority
calling
in the
card. For,
House, the
Well,
Senate,
yeah, I mean,
the Supreme Court, the
he is,
executive branch.
you know,
they own all
a
of
showman.
hey, guess what? They own
His
the
entire
Kennedy
life
Center now,
is
so, the
selling
comedy,
himself as his brand.
Mark
So
Twain comedy,
he knows when he's got a winner.
The NFL,
yeah, it was his
soccer, they're selling
scoop,
corner
as
of the
John would
market and
say,
everything,
probably.
and
Yeah,
they
except
can't
it
agree
actually caught
together
on.
on how to govern. So what the Democrats do very well is govern. What they do very poorly is listen to their constituents. They may be right, and they
So what they do
are
well
on
is
a
govern,
majority
and
of
but
issues.
what they don't
As,
do
you know,
well is
I have a
listening
friend
to
of
the
mine who's a
people that they
Yeah.
Democrat. He
govern.
goes, I don't
That makes
See,
no
and
understand
this
sense.
makes a kind of sense to
the
him.
opposition wants to kill me.
I don't get it.
want
I will agree. They do not listen to their
Now,
constituents
I
at
go,
all.
why the fuck don't you
I mean, it
say
They
seems
that?
pretty
Why are you
obvious
saying
recently, right?
that? Why aren't you
Yeah,
saying
they'll
that
even
when you're
lie.
running for
Like,
office?
I'm trying.
That's
I hate it.
something
I'm
that
having one of
you're
those brain
appealing to
cramps.
people. You know what?
Ah.
The enemies, and we're not
The-
enemies.
no,
That's
Stephen,
the
no.
other thing.
God
We're all
damn it.
Americans. Those who
Who's
oppose
that?
what I stand
I think
for,
he's.
I'd love to hear
I think
a
he's
couple
senator
of
from West
citizens.
Virginia.
Those who
He's on
oppose
like
what I
him
stand
and
for
him
want
and
to be
Kirsten.
dead. I just want them to have
Celebrate
health
kept
care.
fucking up
Let's
Biden's
work
shit.
together.
And let me ask you, Brian.
I'll write
just-
your speeches, Richard.
Never
I'll write
mind.
your
Put
But
that
he
thing
was.
away. Anyway,
Brian,
Yeah, he was
Brian,
basically
why-
just like
Here is a this is
I think he was like trying to convince all my constituents in West Virginia, like they want higher prescription drug. You know, he's like trying to sell on bullshit like that. Or, so yeah, none of them listen to their shit.
No.
Is why
I mean, Brian
fuck
does make
does the mainstream media
good
report on
arguments
this?
against
Where
why
are all the images?
Trump won and the
Where are all
Democrats
videos?
lost. He
Yeah.
does
Going
do
on in
that. That is true.
countries around the world. Why are our news networks not showing this shit? Why does it take Stuttering John to fucking do it?
What is it?
There's some money in it. Look, all of them have
What was that? Like a protest against Trump or something? I don't know what that was.
Yeah, it looked like a
Yeah.
protest against Trump in Chicago. It's probably actually what's been really popular recently, lately on X are protests against Musk at Tesla dealership.
Yeah.
What is the basis? Why are they?
I mean,
gathered?
it's
What's
not
the
news that
protest? Who
people
are they-
don't
what are
like
they
Trump.
talking
People either
those things
love
need
him.
to
He's
be
got his
asked by
fanatics.
reporters. Those things
You know,
need
he's
to
got
be
his
done.
just
Those-
as many
those reports
people
need to be
passionately
filed.
hate him.
But when you
Then
have
yeah, there are
Jeff
people in the
Bezos
middle,
and the
but
others who have
it's
already
not news
given
that people
fealty
don't
to
like
Donald
Trump.
Trump, there's
No.
not going to
That
be a
doesn't
whole
mean
lot of
anything, though. You
pushback
gotta-
on showing that stuff on the air.
It's because
You
he's
gotta,
not
you know,
like yeah.
vote.
Why do you think he's
Right.
limiting the number of people?
He's got 4 years.
In the
We
open,
don't
he
take him
doesn't
out
wanna
because
see
people protest him.
anybody
You know.
asking him a question he
Take him
can't
out of
answer.
office. I didn't
He
mean.
doesn't
I don't
want
want that
anyone
taken.
giving
Oh
him
yeah.
Wrong
Let's
idea.
be
No.
specifically clear.
Walked
Nick
in again
is
during
not
the
a
middle
violent
of
man.
a gaggle on Air Force
I mean, you
One
do have to make that distinction
federal
these days. Have you
reporter.
been
You do,
watching
yeah.
some of the Reddit stuff that's been going around about
Was a great
people
speech.
literally making direct threats to Musk and Trump on
Yeah, I
Reddit?
don't.
It doesn't even take a question that was
It kills
asked.
me.
And
Like
then
even like
pivots to
I have
something that
people
he
I
wants to
love
talk about,
who were
about how
upset
Russia has
that
all the cards.
let's just say that
So,
bullet
all
just
I
skimmed
can
the
tell
air,
you
whatever.
is it's
And I'm
not
like,
exactly
I hate
what
the
I
guy
would,
too.
would report
But
on.
even
Again, I believe in
number
freedom
one,
of
it's not even going to help you
propaganda.
politically. You're going to make the guy a martyr. It's like,
Marjorie Trail
I mean,
Lane and
Nirvana was one of the shittiest
Joe
grunge
Biden
bands, but because Kurt
for
Cobain died, he's the
speeches.
fucking guy.
Why is it
So I know, stupid
that
comparison, but
when
I'm just
this
saying, like, it's
green
not even going to help you
protests,
politically.
he gets
And it's an
murdered,
awful thing to
he
wish for.
gets
I
censored?
mean, I'm not going
Why?
to lie and pretend
Both
that
of
I'm
you guys,
upset
maybe you
when
have
Trump eventually dies, but I'm not looking for
an
assassinations here.
intelligent reason why
Yeah, exactly.
the
You know, it's
fuck
like, and I don't remember
does
any. Well,
the Democrat
I'm sure it
who
happened,
happens
but
to be
I was saying I don't remember a
African-American,
lot of people
he
calling
gets
for
punished,
Biden's death. But
not
then
the
again, you just
fucking
look
two
at him
white
and go,
dudes
"Well,
with
any day
white
now,
shirts.
anyways."
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna
Seems
say
like a lot
something
of
here that a
effort
lot
for
of
the
people
inevitable.
that are
Right.
listening, you may be shocked.
Not that I wish
They're
death on Biden,
racist.
but let's
Have-
let's be honest.
Have you seen?
He
the
wasn't
chairman,
looking
the
good that
Joint
last
Chiefs of
year.
Staff? They fired the
Neither
wasn't
chairman.
getting
Mumbling Nick
around.
or Liquid Cryptid are looking for
No,
deaths
they
of
didn't
any
just fire
presidents.
anybody on the Joint
No,
Chiefs of Staff. They
absolutely
fired the
not.
No, he doesn't even know
chairman
where
of
he
the
is,
Joint
man.
Chiefs of Staff.
It's so bad.
A man who had 40 years of military service, was a fighter pilot. I mean, shattered friggin' records throughout his career, and they get rid of him because he's a black man. They got rid of who else on the chairman of on the Joint Chiefs of Staffs? Well, who is
A
it?
white woman.
A white woman. They also got rid of a 3-star general.
That
in
wasn't
the
a
Marine
woman,
Corps
by the way. That was a trans woman.
They are being.
And Brian
they're
said
not
black
even
woman.
trying to hide it. They're blatantly
As right as
racist.
Ojeda says, white woman.
And let me tell you something.
I'm
a
proud
lot
of it.
And some of the reasons why a lot of Trump supporters, even though they're losing their livelihoods, are still holding on to Donald Trump is because they're just as racist as he is.
Oh, why are the Democrats
So what they're
censoring?
saying? So what is Ojeda trying to say, that the president doesn't rearrange his cabinet when he comes into office? He's not supposed to do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
You
I
just
know
use
what
the cabinet from the previous president? Is that how it's supposed to work?
It's obviously incorrect. I don't know if he's just focusing on, like, I know a lot of generals and stuff just stay in there. This is what's weird. DEI shit, I think, is an excuse, but it is weird that all of a sudden we're getting all these if they're the most qualified, absolutely. But obviously, I think Biden is just looking for, oh, we got a trans woman here. We got the identity politics. Democrats play way too much into it. People don't care as much. And then the Republicans play it the other way. And it's like, I wish the whole thing would just go the fuck away.
Absolutely, 100%. It's like, well, the awful truth about DEI is that
and the presidency.
it makes it so that actually, like, qualified people are now suddenly questioned about their qualifications just because they might be a minority. You know what I mean? It's like, well, are you here? Are you my doctor because you're a very good doctor? Or are you my doctor because you got passed through because you're a brown person?
It's a slippery slope because I truly believe there is racism involved in all this stuff, or sexism, whatever you want to call it. But
the Republican Party.
yeah, I even know a lot of, not a lot, but the minorities that they don't like it for the same reason. Like they don't want people thinking,
Exactly. They're highly qualified people, but they get questioned about it because they're a brown person in a highly qualified position, and with the DEI, people question whether or not they actually legitimately are qualified, or whether they passed along into it. Are they filling a spot
again? But you said Trump loves Putin, and
yeah, that does a disservice to everybody.
USA. It's that simple. I agree. Now, Vegas Beer Salts Jerry is a good person and a friend of mine. So I'm sure I don't even have to pre-read it. Are there any Reagan Republicans left who think Russia is an adversary?
Yeah, Mitch McConnell, but he's
yeah, that's a great guy, Mitch McConnell.
His own victory. Be careful what you wish for.
Even the Republicans have been asking, why is this guy still in there?
Yeah,
for like
again, somebody's trying to use
probably about a decade now, as far as I can remember.
And I'm not posting anything from the lawyer who happens to
be even people on the right are like, why do people keep voting for Mitch McConnell?
I'll always post it because he's dear to my heart.
Like I said, we even said in the conversation that
Brian, let me ask you,
when Harris was trying to win, instead of taking like progressive, she's taking Liz Cheney around. When even the Republicans are sick of the Cheneys at this fucking point.
They're also
anti-gay.
So this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Pete Hegseth has ordered to remove all photographs of the B-29 bomber Enola Gay because of the word gay.
I'm going to go with that's not true.
Now, what's next?
I was just going to ask you, is this true? I haven't heard. I fucking hate. To me, Pete Hegseth is a DEI hire the other way, a fucking drunken idiot that just kisses Trump's ass. That's why he got hired. But
what the fuck
but they literally just saw fucking some random post on X,
right?
And saying that Hegseth gets rid of every picture of the Enola Gay because it has the word gay in it. John believes that.
What kills me, it's like, even if I don't think this one is true. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's true. But I do think they do shit like this to get you talking about shit like this instead of actual, then they can go, oh my god, blah blah blah.
Well, it's something so that people like these three have something to talk about, because
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they not doing that, but slipped it out to have someone so that these people like this will fucking talk about it instead of talking about what's important.
For his supporters who cheer it, the same as they cheered the fact that there are 300-year-olds getting Social Security, which is a freaking base lie. Look, Social Security did not come into existence until 1935. So if you're 100 years old when you first got on Social Security, the oldest you could be and still be getting a check is 190. That ain't happening either. Yep. What they did, they continue to lie. They double down on the lie that they know is a lie. And they know it's a lie because they've admitted it's a lie in the White House. What happened was in 2023, in going over, this isn't even
Musk
anything
explained it on
Rogan,
Rogan.
although they're taking credit for it. In 2023, in a routine audit, the inspector generals, by the way, who he's fired, went over the paperwork in his Social Security and said, hey guys, some of these people that I see numbers here like 300 million, there's only like 65 million on Social Security. What's going on? And they found out that after people died, they stopped getting their checks because when you die, they send in a form and they stopped sending the check. But they didn't take them off the rolls. So basically, it was a glitch in their bookkeeping. They still had people that had died on the rolls. Those people weren't getting checks, but what they were still on the rolls. They knew that. It's been reported for the last 2 years. Donald Trump took a majority, and Richard's right,
and nothing was done about it.
So if it's reported for 2 years, why are they still on the rolls?
Lying, doubling down on the lie, and just preaching to. That was a speech. That was a pep rally. That was a MAGA pep rally. That wasn't a State of the Union.
By the way, I was correct.
Right.
Well, no, it wasn't a State of the Union address. It was a joint address to Congress.
Right, and those type of speeches anyway are always
in office for a
pep
full year.
rallies.
It was a State of the Union address. You don't call it a State of the Union address because he hasn't been. And by the way,
so you can call it a State of the Union.
Yes, but here's the deal. He could have accomplished.
Let me explain to you why I'm suddenly not an idiot.
Social media. The Democrats.
I accidentally may have been not wrong.
I feel sorry for these people. I made their life better. MAGA. That's
I accidentally may have not been wrong on this.
Right, yeah.
If you believe the Democrats didn't stand for a child cancer, hey, understand that before the State of the Union, they've already killed child cancer research.
Exactly.
They have not.
It's like stuff that they do. They're like, oh, I can't believe the Democrats didn't stand for that child. Well, maybe the Democrats are pissed because your damn party killed child.
I keep saying killed.
You know
He's got
what?
killed
I'm
on the
glad
brain,
you mentioned
Ojeda. You
that, 'cause
gotta
I have a
relax.
friend in Canada, and he was saying to me, how ugly the Dems couldn't stand. And I said, you know what? I'm sure there's a reason for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
the
yet.
NIH cuts
I
are
don't know
still a
what-
proposal. They're still thinking it over. It hasn't
Right.
happened yet. I mean, it probably will happen.
It's proposed. I know what you're saying, but this. Did you hear Johnny just said there's problems? Someone in Canada, friend of his in Canada, was like, it was discussing the Dems didn't stand, and John got so mad. He's like, I'm sure there was a good reason. I don't know what it is yet, but so he's not even
Well,
smart
no.
enough, to figure out, like, dude, they're not standing, because they think it's propaganda. They don't want to, whatever, whether it's political or personal for them, but it's obvious why they didn't do it, and it's a basic thing to know, and he doesn't even know.
Scientists going, I don't want to date that mouse.
But he gets
Yeah,
mad
he doesn't
about
know
it.
yet because
Let's turn it
Brian or
into a
Ojeda
man
hasn't
and
told him
Didn't
yet.
tell him.
I'm
Yeah.
a pedophile with mice. I mean, what the fuck is that? The bottom line is transgenic research. You graft
It's
DNA
something nobody knew
into a
about until a
mouse
couple
that
of days
resembles
ago.
Human DNA. So when you
Now we know
test
about it because
these cancer
like
medicines
I'm
and
more, not
other
that I
medicines,
care, but
you
not
get a
that's important, I
reaction,
should say, but I'm more interested
scientific
if
reaction that tells you whether
if it
or
was a
not it would
perfect
be effective on
purposeful
human
slip up or an
beings.
accidental
So
slip
that's
up. But
transgenic research.
other than that, I don't
Doesn't
really give a
mean
shit.
8th grade. It's
No.
8th grade.
Willard?
Yes, 8th grade science. Thank you, Richard.
Like they don't know
You're
anything about this,
Oh
but
my
they're
God.
upset that the funding's been cut.
They just said this is you learn
I'm
this in
going
8th
out
grade
for a
science.
bottle
I
of
never heard of this shit in my life.
Prosecco with
Neither had I.
By the way,
I'm not saying I'm a
Richard,
science
I remember
genius,
for
but
11 months.
I hate when people
Brian
pretend that they
Karem
know
meets the
shit.
Puerto
They do.
Ricans
Like
and Danes, too.
you brought up the Ukraine Ukraine Russia thing in 2014. I've gotten in discussions with people, and they were like, "Where were you in 2014?" I'm like, "I didn't even know about it," but they act like it was like common news knowledge or whatever now because now they know about it.
Well, I believe I kind of remember something
Well,
about
right.
Crimea,
I'm not saying
Crimea
I didn't
back
know
then.
anything, but they're like acting like it should have been just as much of an uproar, or what? Like it was just as much news as the war. I know what you're saying. There's always little things going on over there.
PACs, which are the small clinics, so that you don't have to drive 2.5 to 3 hours to the actual VA hospital. They're going to shut all of those things down. And by the way, 1 in every 3 veterans, 1 in every 3 people that work at the Veterans Administration is a veteran. So yeah, congratulations. You guys are on the side that's all about
Good
sticking us in
afternoon.
the damn back.
That's right. Donald Trump has fired more vets than any other president in history. Oh, but he cares
What?
about the military. You mean the
Where does he
losers
get
and the
that number
suckers?
from?
That
Yeah, is
military?
that something you can even track? I'm not even.
Here's the thing about that.
These 3 kill me, man. They don't.
Most of the things
They're
that
supposed to
kill
be on
occur
my
in rural
side, and they
America.
don't focus on
Who
the
voted
shit that's supposed to be
overwhelmingly for
important.
Donald Trump, rural America.
I look at John.
There's a
John's got a
study out
mean
by the,
face.
Yeah,
Medill
He's
School
very
of
upset.
Journalism, Northwest University, that shows that
he doesn't know why
that it
yet.
was, written
Just
No,
like
he's
that-
being told why
Who
currently.
used to be
Yeah.
with the Washington Post and covered the media. There are 45% of the counties in the United States that don't have local coverage. 91% of those counties without local news voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump, many of them in a landslide, by the beliefs that were, because what they believe is what they heard nationwide about he's going to help veterans, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Then all of this stuff has been slashed, and what's coming home
Who
to
listens
roost
to
for these
local
people is
news
that they
anymore?
understand they've been lied to, and there was no local media that tell
Yeah,
us.
I don't even
what to do.
have a.
So the problem in the
I
United
don't have cable.
States,
I don't have
those
an antenna.
people
I got
who voted against their own
no news, no
self-interest,
local news,
unknowingly
just apps.
or knowingly, are now suffering the direct effects of Donald
Well, I mean,
Trump.
I
and
actually
it's only going
do
to
have
get
the
worse.
local
Those who
conservative
fear that
AM
the
station
government is
on my
getting
radio.
smaller, I will
That
point
is
you
on
in
for the amount of
direction
time that
of
takes
the
for me to
Department
connect
of
my
Education
phone
and the Department of Health and Human Services
and play
those people who
podcasts.
had those cabinet posts up
It's
say,
funny. I live in
want to reduce
my current city
but
is
I've just been
it's
on the
poor.
job.
It's like a
less than
working
month.
class
Give
city
me a
that I believe the
chance to
constituents
evaluate who needs
are
to
least
go
left
and
leaning, but
why.
it seems like the
Don't come
local
in with a
government is all right
sledgehammer
wing
and
because I don't think
clear out the
anyone votes
underbrush
besides
because
the
you're
people
destroying
that
the
actually
fabric
have
of government.
the money in the
Weather
city.
service
So
gone.
it's very
You talk
disproportionate
about
with
health
our local
gone.
government and
You
local
talk-
news.
Education.
There is a wet education gone. Well, they
Department
don't.
of Education. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, you can't spell education, so why do you care?
They don't even
And
know what
then,
the Department of
that's their-
Education
anyway,
is.
they can't spell education.
He doesn't know. Like
And
that's
then
not an
today
argument,
it was
John.
reported that a
Like
you know,
I'm
No,
with
that's
you.
also that's not an argument.
website
Right.
reports
I don't want him cutting,
internationally
and I don't want
that
Linda
Bannon
McMahon in
Star
charge
has
of it
gone
either.
dark because of
But
cuts by
make the
Donald
argument
Trump.
why. Don't
This
just
hurts
have your
us.
voice
And
crack like you're fucking hitting
USAID
puberty.
hurts us.
The
Here's why
education.
those programs are important, particularly the overseas programs. They build brotherhood, camaraderie, and intelligence. When you're getting food and health and services from the United States, you're more inclined to see us as that bright spot on the hill. When
I
you
thought they
cut
were
it
more
out and
inclined to
China
see us
comes in,
as
you bought their loyalty. China was
imperialists
their
and
loyalty. And by the way, you also want boots on the ground
and
in these
whatnot.
nations.
Like
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
think I've heard anything
You
good
want,
come from our
serviceable, accurate
our
intelligence.
programs to
They
feed
have
other
cut all
countries.
of that out. This only helps
Brian just
China
said
and
they
Russia.
want our boots on the
When we
ground. I
deployed
believe.
to Haiti, when we deployed to Haiti for the earthquake, a lot of us had no clue that there were other countries that were already down there doing things, humanitarian stuff. And I'm talking from Jordan, from India, from France. But when we got down there right after the earthquake happened, the one thing that we saw, I was standing in downtown Port-au-Prince, and somebody had wrote on a wall, well, we don't want the French, only the USA.
Yes.
And that was because the USA had showed up and we were clearing lines of communication. We were bringing health care to these people. We were bringing water, food. We were busting our butts to help these people out. And that's why,
In northern Iraq during the first Gulf
So
War,
I guess the French weren't.
saw
They're
the same
just
thing.
like showed up.
Yeah, I guess they just shit on the French.
Welcome the U.S.
Hey,
Yeah.
America
And
first.
we
Good for
have
you,
it all
Ojeda.
changed.
Good job.
And there were people that were screaming about Saddam Hussein, and they were inviting us into their home to cook us a meal because were from the United States. They valued our friendship. You're right, John. That's all changed.
Play the shrimp. Why does Trump want to
It has
privatize
not.
the United States Postal Service?
It's part of election rigging. It's part of doing everything in their power to make sure people that vote, by
No,
mail
it's
don't
about
get-
money
don't
and
get a
money.
say.
They
know
want
that,
to privatize
they
shit
look at
because of
certain
their
groups of
fucking
people,
corporate
they think
donors.
that's the
But
groups that use the mail the most, and it
Well,
doesn't go in their
the
favor, so they do
privatization
it.
of the
Everybody
USPS
that
has,
voted by
I
mail
think,
voted for
has
Donald
been
Trump.
a
Make no
conservative
mistake about
issue
it, they will do
since
everything in their power to do
I
everything for the postal
followed.
service.
yeah, he's
Albertical lines.
Ojeda's trying to make the argument it's so people can't
Hey, Brian,
mail in
why is
votes or
no one
whatever.
saying
But I don't
Trump
think that
is
has
our
anything to do
American
with it.
Hitler? He is
No,
obviously
it's just it
Putin
loses
privately
money.
and said, I will help you out.
Yeah, it's
He is
to me it's a
infatuated
service. I don't
with
care
Putin.
that it
He needs to
loses
take
money,
them
but
both
Yeah,
out.
I'm exactly the same. That's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm okay with the USPS losing money. That's
Our Hitler for
that's fine. That's what it's there for, to provide
right, right.
an
Yeah.
essential service that
Grandma's
that I'm happy to pay for.
Grandma's a card. I want to congratulate
It would be
my
nice if it
brothers.
was
I
run
love them.
efficiently and well.
Pastor Rogan's views. I don't know what that
Yeah, we
means.
always
And
do
for
that.
everybody and John back on the show. First of all, I never did their show. They did mine. In fact, they one of them came on my show my last birthday to wish me happy birthday. I was the first show to have them on. I'm proud of that. I love
No, you
them.
weren't.
I wish them well. Thank you.
They actually have overtaken Joe Rogan in terms of.
So Midas, do you ever
No,
watch?
they haven't.
Probably not.
It's good
Midas
because
touches.
once again, at least we got.
I can't trust anything they say because that is, I believe Trump derangement syndrome is overblown, but I believe those guys have Trump derangement syndrome. So I can't, even when
In a
I
world
see-
where you don't believe in Trump derangement syndrome, these people definitely have it.
yeah, I'm not saying I believe like
You
it's
guys
used as an
lost the
excuse. Like
majority.
guys like me can't
I don't
criticize
even buy
Trump
that.
without saying, when I feel I have
One
legit
Congress
criticism.
went red,
but
the entire
all
country
they
shit
talk
went red.
about
Your
is
ideas
Trump,
stink.
and
Everything
how
Dems do
bad. That's
now
all
is
they talk
corrupt.
about. So
You're
you can't
supposed
take
to be above
anything they
Aristotle.
say for their word.
Wrong.
You're
More-
one of the idiots that are getting fucked, dude.
Yeah, hey, more people chose to not even vote in this election than voted for Donald Trump. So that right
Yeah,
there
people
is
rather
something,
not vote
okay,
than vote
number
for a
one.
Democrat. So
Number
take
two,
that great argument
absolutely
you're making,
full of
Ojeda.
shit.
Great argument.
I cannot believe that people are still literally supporting this garbage. When are you going to wake up? I'm thinking that with what you just said, you probably still live in your mother's basement because obviously
Oh,
it's
of
not
course.
grocery wise,
Right.
'cause
But
maybe your
not to
parents
involve myself, but
But
when
Mary,
I
you
would
think about
say,
it, our country is
I would
falling
never say
down.
anything like
It's on
that because
fire
actually I
because of
don't
that
think it
asshole in
shifted.
the
I think it shifted
I
more
think
right.
probably
Absolutely,
still
it has. I
middle
can't.
school.
There's no doubt about it.
Fact of the matter is,
Which
when you
surprised me. I'll
have in
admit
this
when I'm wrong. I
country,
thought the
when you
country was going
consider
left for a
60%
while,
voter
and
turnout
they're starting to go
good,
right a little bit.
I will remind
But
you that
when someone makes a
means
point, Ojeda, you
30%
can't
of the
this.
people
Oh,
of
you
the
live in your
United
mother's
States plus
basement. Always
one
starting like
can
all the shit
determine
he
what
used to
the
say
other
to me. It just
70%
fucking drove me nuts.
That's what
Well, that's all they
occurred.
got. Oh,
Yeah.
that's all they got is we're the smart people
Problem is
and you're the
not
dumb
that
ones.
Donald
Right.
Trump
And it's like
is
these are the three
majority.
dumbest people I listen to on the
Is a
internet.
super minority. And I will
Especially one of them,
hats
yeah.
off to MAGA members for this one thing. And I do admire this.
No, I got a
Their
video.
tenacity to vote.
I
I
need to
love
find
the way
it.
they fight.
Brian
I love
Karem
the
a
fact
couple
that
of
they
months
fight.
ago
The Democrats
was talking
don't.
about how
That's
I
the
don't
problem
know
with the Democrats. And the other
Elon
problem
was saying
is
stuff about
Donald
how mainstream journalism has
Donald
gone
Trump
away,
often
and
uses
you know
this trope, the
platforms like
silent
X are the
majority,
new way,
which
right?
was coined by
Yeah.
Richard
And he
Nixon.
gave all these examples. He
Donald
gave several
Trump doesn't
examples. Then
represent the
Brian goes
silent
through and says,
majority. The
"No,
silent majority of
Elon Musk is
Americans are
wrong."
you
He
fat,
plays the
lazy
video and goes
cocksuckers
through,
who
and
don't
then
vote.
points out why
Get
he's
off
right
our
on
fat
everything that
asses.
he's
I don't
and
care
why
who
and
you
what the
vote
excuse
for.
is
I
for
care
why
that
he
you
was
vote.
right. I need
I
to
care that you
find
are
that video. He
educated,
is fucking
you are
great.
aware,
I believe
and
it.
you are involved. And I don't mean just vote. I mean you need to be involved in phone banks. You need to take the elderly to vote. You need to show up
No.
at voting places and volunteer to help. You need to be involved. A democracy, and don't give me this shit about a republic. If you want to pick Nicks, bend over, I'll raw dog you. The bottom line is, if you want this government to work, you have to be involved in it, and you're not.
So this is
That's the
bullshit
majority.
because
So if Donald Trump
as
thinks
someone
he
who
has
does
a
get
majority,
involved,
and if the
it's
MAGA
not
members
easy,
think they
man.
have a
You know,
majority,
you
I
got
will cheer
family,
them
you
for
work. A lot
voting,
of people don't have a
and
lot of
once
time for
again
this shit. The
remind them
government's
how
supposed to
fucking
fucking work
ignorant
for
they
us.
are of math.
We shouldn't have to
Because
bend
they
over
can't
backwards to
add.
get the government to
There is
work
no
for us.
supermajority. There is no mandate.
That is true, and I
There are
also think it's
simply
actually
you
more important
stupid
to hold
motherfuckers who
the
didn't
people
vote,
that you vote
and
for
you
feet
stupid
to the fire
motherfuckers who did,
Right.
than
and
Yeah.
didn't
worry
know
about
you
what
were
the other
stupid
side's doing.
motherfuckers,
Like
and you
I worry
stupid
more about the
motherfuckers
people I
voted.
vote for, making
And
sure
a
that
lot
they're
of you
doing what
all
they
are
need to be
waking
doing
up every day.
Well,
The only
that's
ones
why I
that
get.
are
know,
holding on are the mind
than
Go on.
anybody else. You know,
I'm
I'm
sure
more
my mom
critical
is
of them than
laughing right
anybody
now at
else.
Mr. Karem because Mr. Karem,
Like,
that was
obviously,
brilliant.
I'm
Now,
going
I
after
hate
Trump
the
these
play.
days, and
Well,
it's
I
the Dabbleverse. It's a lot of fun,
take
but
back. I don't hate the
I
play
get
Army Major.
I get
want to play
angrier
another
at
vet
the
who
Democrats
was
because
really pissed
we're
off.
well,
Okay,
the belief
and
systems. We're supposed to
so
have more
please,
beliefs, and I'm supposed to have more things in
this is
common with them.
really sad.
And Trump's and the Republicans aren't
Here we go.
supposed to, you know,
Have you seen this, Army Major?
do what I want them to do. But the
And they're
Democrats
supposed to
are.
be trying to create peace and reducing and getting rid of all this waste and junk and stuff like that. That should be the Democrats, right?
Yeah, or to me, the Democrats should be populist, economic populist, and shit like. And now they're even going back to the center or right on the social issues, which I don't care nearly as much about. But that's easy for me. I'm a heterosexual white man, so I don't have to worry about that shit. But what's this guy saying?
They die.
Veterans don't trust him. He's not one of us.
So that was Eric Rodriguez. He's a veteran of the war in Iraq. He was reacting to the news that the Trump administration is cutting thousands of jobs from the Department of Veterans Affairs. On that, the AP reports this, quote, "The Department of Veterans Affairs is planning a reorganization that includes cutting more than 80,000 jobs. Wow, 80,000 jobs from the agency that provides health care for retired military members." The VA's chief of staff told top-level officials at the agency Tuesday that it had an objective to cut enough employees to return to 2019 staffing levels of just under 400,000. That would require terminating tens of thousands of employees after the VA had expanded during the Biden administration, as well as to cover veterans impacted by burn pits. For some veterans, that means not just worrying about what this means for their health care and their family's health care. They could also lose their jobs entirely. More than 25% of the VA's staff and workforce is made up of veterans.
I mean, Army Major, how does that
So
make
they're
you
going
fucking
to
feel, bro?
remove a small
It's a slap in the
percentage.
face. I mean,
but-
and once again, 1 out of every 3 people that work
Yeah,
for
I
the
don't.
Veterans Administration is
I don't know if
actually a
you'll agree
veteran.
with me on this or
They're going
disagree,
after our
but
healthcare. They're going to shut down
I
care in the
so many
community. It's going to
people
be
I've heard
extremely
through
hard for people to get
especially the
dental
past
appointments and
decade
things like
saying we
that.
need this
And
country run
you know,
like a
I kind of
business.
feel like I'm going to go back
And
to where it
I don't know
was
if
when
these
I was
people
living
never
in West
worked for
Virginia
corporations, but
before they put
the
up
leaders,
a
they
small
cut
clinic about 10
everything they
minutes from
can
where
at
I
the
live.
bottom to keep the
I used
money
to
for
have to take
themselves, and
off a
that's what's
day of work
happening
and
when you
drive
want
2 hours
corporate.
to the VA
When
hospital
you want 2
and then 2 hours
billionaires
back
running the
home.
country or whatever,
And
this is
that
what
was
you
even
get.
just to draw
You know, they're
blood. You
gonna
know how long
cut
it takes
whatever
to
they
draw
think they
blood?
can
5
cut
minutes
so
maybe.
that they
But I
get
had to
more.
take a whole day off
I
of
don't know.
work
It seems to
and drive
me
for
like
4
Musk,
hours in a car
especially, but
to get there and back.
well,
Oh,
That's
definitely.
where we're going to
Trump
get
isn't
back
really
to, and
involved in
it's
this,
not
but
a good
Musk
place,
especially seems
especially
to
for
be
the
more
elderly
interested in
people.
cutting
You know,
people at the
that's going to
top.
have to travel
It
for
seems to
long
be recently,
distances. It's
uh,
I mean,
especially
yeah.
administration.
just
Like
tells us
it seems to
none
be
of
like
us
they're
don't give a
really trying to
shit.
cut
We
into
know
like
Donald Trump doesn't
administration
care about the
costs.
veterans.
Yeah, I mean,
We
Like
know all too
administrative
often where we were
bullshit,
told,
where
well,
most of the money gets hung up on
Donald Trump
people who
wanted to
don't
have
actually
a
do
parade, but
anything.
he didn't want any
it's
disabled
a
veterans.
funny
Nobody
thing to
wants to
like
see those people.
brag
You
about
know, he
because they're
hugs the
bragging about
guy
cutting
who sang a
waste
song
or
from a
quote unquote
wheelchair
waste
and
government
said, "We
jobs.
love you," and then turned to
That
the
means you're
people and said,
losing
"Don't
jobs.
ever bring a
It's
guy
like you're
like that
bragging
near
about
here.
job loss.
Nobody
It's
wants to
very
see that."
tricky when
They
you do
resent
it that way.
veterans
Like I
because
don't
we're
know how.
braver, because we show
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
you can't just pay somebody to do nothing either.
That's just what this is. They're
It happens
jealous of
all the
us. They
time.
want to try to act
I
like
mean,
they
And I'm
this
see
is
not.
it
true,
behind the scenes.
But
They do
but I
everything they
prefer
can.
that I didn't have to pay for it. Like if
Veterans
some
are
company wants
no,
to
I know
pay
what you're
for it.
saying, but I don't.
I
I
have
don't
a
know if
friend of mine
that's.
who
I'm
is
sure that some of the
who
cuts absolutely getting people are
PTSD
getting cut
after
for,
the Gulf War.
but they're cutting almost whole
He
agencies and
had to
stuff.
drive
So I don't know.
Which is fine.
up to 2
There are
hours
whole
to
agencies that
get
need to
his
be cut,
care.
especially the Department of Education.
Yeah,
And
we'll
he said it
we'll
was bad
disagree.
enough
I'm not
when he
saying
was
they're
driving
doing the
2
best
hours
job, but I
with
don't want.
PTSD coming
I
back
know
from
they
his
want
therapy
education
session.
run by the
It took me 2
states.
hours to get there, and
Oh,
And
it already
have
is. The Federal
right.
Department of Education
to
has
drive
zero
back. As bad
influence,
as
or
that
not
was.
influence, has
Now I've
zero
got every
jurisdiction
day
over any
when I've given my
um,
all, and they
over any
do
school
nothing.
district
oh,
at all.
interesting. I know it was mostly
This is,
mostly
and it
state,
goes
yeah,
back
because every
to,
state's different.
remember,
I didn't know that the
Hoover
federal
bills,
had. I
and
honestly had no idea. They have no
they had,
jurisdiction at
who
all.
was it?
Nope, they have
General
absolutely no
MacArthur
power,
actually, I believe
jurisdiction,
it was,
control of any school anywhere.
veterans
Right.
The
I
Federal
thought.
Department of Education. Well, what they do is they come up with programs, and if a school or school district, or if a school district or state, or if the state Department of Education complies with these program
They get
systems they
money.
come up with, they get federal money
Money. Okay.
for doing. That's how they control
I
the state departments of education. But otherwise, the federal Department of Education has literally zero authority, jurisdiction, control over any school at all.
I knew there were certain standards, but I didn't know the standards were just money based.
Yeah, we'll give you money for
Yeah.
doing this. Is how they work. Is how they operate.
Brian, have you seen this?
Yes.
This is so sad.
The drain.
So I think everybody should see.
And they've
this.
only been around since 1980, by the
If
way.
you
The
were
Federal
okay
Department of
with
Education.
Donald
We're
Trump
both
after
older than
watching
the
this, I
Federal
don't know
Department of
what the hell
Education.
Yes, I am. Yes.
I am so upset that the things we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all gone down the drain. Our country gone to hell in a handbasket. We haven't got the country we had when I was raised. Not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not the same. That's not what I was. That's not what they died for. It's just not it. Just takes me time to get over it. Why me sitting here like this? See, I am so upset.
I mean, that if that doesn't break your heart, I don't know what. I don't
Well,
know
he's
what
not going to
would.
let him finish.
Is that a Marine? It looked like a Marine.
It went back to the
dress
beginning.
uniform.
Oh, I just turned
Oh.
it off. I wasn't sure. Army Major,
Oh.
was that a Marine?
Yeah.
That's a Marine.
Yeah, I'm torn on that because I agree, but what John's doing exactly what the Republicans did when they had that kid with cancer,
But
using
why
as like
do
a
the vets
PR
vote for
stunt.
these freaking creeps? Like,
And
what happens
I don't
in their
think
minds?
people
They
are
think
going to have
Donald
the
Trump
same
can walk around
opportunities,
there.
Listen, it's
not
only gonna
because
get
of
worse. And the
Trump,
reason
but
for
because
that is
this
because
corporate,
a lot of these people drink
everything we've had
certain
since Reagan, where
factors.
the
When Donald
where the
Trump
president and the
took over this
politicians, they
new
take corporate bribes and they do what's best for the rich, and the wealth gap gets larger and larger, and that's why things are different. It's not just because of Trump.
that has
They're trying to make it too
troops
simple.
on it. and replace the media.
Yeah, it's been
Fox,
just a
Newsmax,
generation of bad
OAN.
policy, basically.
Only gonna get worse.
I missed the
This is
date
why-
on that,
this
but
is
I
part of
think
the
it said like
plan. It's to
2020. I
poison
think
the
that was like
minds of
it
people,
wasn't
to
recent.
make them
Like it was a
think
few
that
years ago. I'm like Biden
Democrats
might have been
are
president when it
absolutely
happened.
horrible because they want you to be able
When the
to
guy said
afford
that.
your life
I mean, it's
saving,
probably
unit,
likely these guys, they
and
don't,
that's what they're doing right now. And it's
especially
going to
Ojeda,
poison
but
them.
all
This
of these
is
guys, they
part of the
don't
last 50
actually,
years
look at
where
the
they
memes that
killed
Right.
they bring up
fairness
or the
doctrine, which
data
I
that they
think
bring
needs to
up.
be
They
brought
just go,
back.
hey, here's
You
a
know,
thing, and then I look
we
at it and go,
now
yeah,
have
that's fake.
organizations that are supporting pure
Or yeah,
garbage.
he's talking about something else, by the
Director,
way.
have either of you three considered Ukraine Foreign Legion would cool show support for Ukraine on the front lines, especially Ojeda with his wisdom? As Richard told us, we would get in the way.
Of course
that
you would.
correct?
Look,
Well, yeah, you.
first and foremost, I think
Hey,
this
John
guy's
would make
actually
fine
shit.
cover. His
Yeah.
corpse would make
Yeah.
great cover.
No, this one. I look at this. You guys think it's a coincidence? The second Lindsey Graham stopped conditionally supporting Zelensky, that reports came out
Oh,
that he was
God.
first. No, everybody is
Number one, there's been reports about him being gay forever, whether they're true or not. It has nothing to do with Zelensky.
Was male escorts when they realized
I don't
that
give a shit that
signing
he's
a
gay.
friggin'
Yeah,
non-disclosure
neither.
agreement for prostitution doesn't count because it's illegal. You can't tell somebody they have to sign an NDA for an illegal act. And basically, they come out and said that Lindsey Graham was one of the biggest users of male escorts. Go figure. I mean, I think everybody
So?
knew that.
Dave Sauer, thank you for 5
I never get when
Karem and Hal
that's like a
and
liberal
Tommy
stance that
Chateau.
he
You
should
guys
be
did
able to
way
use
more
gay
than
escorts. So I don't,
Yes,
Exactly.
are.
That's like,
And
shouldn't you be
Karem
happy
and
that
we're on-
he's
on
gay?
the
What, like
road
what?
talking to
most
people
liberals
across the
are
country
okay
about,
with homosexuality
components of
and prostitution.
entertainment,
So
the press and First Amendment.
And how'd that show go, Brian?
Went
I
really
see.
well.
I
was
think
very
what they're
happy
trying
with
to
it.
do
Tom
is they
was,
think that they're
that will
talking
be, by the way,
to
that show will be,
conservative people.
published
So
Right,
they're
yeah.
they
as
think that
a
their audience
standalone
consists of
next week,
conservatives
and
that they
then
can
it is
say,
also going to be part of
"Look
our
at your guy, John.
documentary
Stop it.
that
Look
I'm
at your
now
guy."
efforting to get done.
You know.
The first two.
I get
I mean,
like
look
I
at
would
your guy.
It's called
I would do it
Days of
differently. I'd be
Chaos.
like,
We're
yeah,
almost done here.
like I get
The
like
first 100
just
days
be
of the
honest and
Donald
be like,
Trump
yeah, if he
administration.
has male escorts,
And
I could
those
care
100
less.
days of
You know
chaos
what I
will be
mean?
dropping.
That's what you say, and then
We
if
have
the right gets
signed, or
mad, they
we
get
are in
mad.
process
You know,
of
that's on
signing,
them. You
an
don't
exclusive agreement
say it
for
like it's an
distribution
insult.
with the
You know,
Midas Touch
Well, and also
network.
these three,
And the
their
first two
audience isn't who
episodes
they
of that
think
will
it is.
drop July 4th. That will be the
Any of them, individually or together, they think they have a balanced audience of
section, and of course,
conservatives
the first
and
free speech
liberals, and they do not.
section. It'll be an 8
John,
to
stop
10
it.
episode documentary series.
Did you do any stand-up, Brian?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
sure was better than
Nice.
yours,
I
John.
can't wait to see it. Is this true?
Tough room.
Did
Can't
Marjorie
wait to see
Taylor
it. They
Greene
just
say that Al Green was a werewolf? Is that true?
What the fuck,
I
John?
mean, she's a
Is this
freaking
true?
moron,
Is
so
he
yeah,
kidding me?
probably.
Look, there's repeating anything that she says is like trying to imitate a
urging
dog
accusations that
barking. Who
Congressman
the
Al Green is
fuck
aware.
cares?
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it.
Listen, guys, I
It is
love
Marjorie
No,
Taylor
Whoa,
Greene.
no, she said barking.
Yeah, if anyone, I guess it'd be her, but I still don't
We do
believe
have
it.
a lot more to cover,
It's
but
even too far
do it
for
next
her.
week, and that'll be my last show for quite a while. As you can see, I didn't put up any jackaloons, as you guys say. I try, and I'm not going to.
According to you guys, I'm a
So,
jackaloon. I've
you
been called a jackaloon, a
Conversation. I
trumpaloon,
always
everything
enjoy
to
it,
these
John,
guys.
and Richard is always
I
great
do
to be
too.
on the scene.
So Ojeda wants to run
So
in
are
an
we making plug whatever you want?
extremely deep
I
red
do my Ojeda Live every night, 8:30 Eastern
district.
Time on YouTube and Facebook.
But
I'm
he
hoping
doesn't
by
want to
April or
take
May,
any
I will be able to send both of
questions
you
from
autographed
the
books.
Trumpaloons.
Right.
It's in the editing process
Well,
right now.
And if he does, he calls them jackaloons, trumpaloons, instead of living in their mother's basement, which is
And
a
they live in
great
their
way
mother's
to,
basement.
great way to earn somebody's vote. Yeah.
Yeah. So when he's in a debate for his district,
prisoners.
is that what he's going to do?
I'm
Oh,
pretty pumped about it. I'm hoping
this guy's just a
I think,
Trumpaloon and
I
lives
think
in his
it'll do that.
basement. It's
So
like
it is what
he's
it is.
been
I
our
mean, I'm just
representative for
because
like
I think people need to hear it.
10 years. Like
Right.
what?
I get it that
We're
you know, a
looking at
hardcore Trump supporter, you're not going to be
April,
able to flip
May
them, just like a
of
hardcore
trying to
Democrat. You're not going to be
link
able
up
to
with-
flip
we've
them.
got a few people that are-
But
that
you
are
got to act like
hopefully
everybody's
publishing the
flippable,
book.
man. You can't just,
So
you know,
it's
if
a
you
work
want to
in
flip the
progress, but we'll
people
get
you
there.
can flip.
All
You can't just.
Brian,
Well, and
know
as
you
I said,
always
his
have
district,
the,
like
long
everybody
plug,
who gets
so
voted in
here we
is
go.
mostly
Brian, plug whatever you
Republican.
want.
Well,
The
I think
name of
there's
the
one
podcast is
Democrat,
called
but
Just Ask
they're
the
all
Question. We do
Republicans,
a
and they
weekly
all
show
won
called
by
Just Ask the Question,
like
where we review the news. We also
53%
do
to
a reverse shot
58%.
once a week where we turn
It's like
the
you're
camera
not
around and make
overcoming
fun
that,
and
especially
point out
an
the
Ojeda
press.
is
The
not
name of the book
overcoming
is
that.
called Free the Press, wherever fine books
I
are
think he
Not
sold.
thinks he has
Catch
ability.
me in
his,
Salon
not with his
once or
ability
twice a
to,
week. And of course, coming up in July,
know what the three
big
branches
thing,
of government are,
the 100 Days of Chaos, the new
which
Donald
I don't
Trump
believe he does.
administration.
I mean, my mom just texted me. She said, "Could she please get that book, a signed copy of that
Of
book?"
course, that without a doubt.
Mom,
Without
are
a
you
doubt.
kidding? Hey, I wish your mom well and recovering from surgery. I hope she's okay. We love her to death. We're glad she's here listening.
She was so funny because she said, "Bro, I could," because they don't go through the chest anymore.
No, they don't.
So
They
they were
go up
supposed to
the
go through
leg.
the belly, and she goes, "They said my belly was too small. That's a first."
My mom's fat.
But so they went through her neck, but it was a successful operation. So I'm very happy that she's still with us. I love my mother.
Okay.
Love my mother very dearly. But thank you guys for coming on.
I don't think we
Always,
needed to
man.
know this
See you next week.
information.
Yeah,
All
that,
right, I'll
that was
see you.
But I'm
private.
glad his
man.
mom's
All right,
okay.
great Army
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
am
what
too.
happened. I guess she had a heart surgery.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Show today. I want to
That'd be
thank
my guess since he said
them,
that.
and I'll just hit a few of the super chats. None of the ones that are
Yeah, that's what gets me.
stupid,
Even on
but if there's anything that
Ojeda's own
is
show,
that I missed,
he blocks
I'm
and
not
yells at
taking anything
people
from
who have a,
Does
a
he?
contrary
Nothing from,
opinion to him. Well, he only checks
Corby,
the Facebook chats,
because he
but I've
uses
seen
my
him yell
name to promote
and
his
block
show
other
every single
veterans who say,
time,
"Hey, listen,
and then
I'm
accuses
also a
me
veteran, and I think what
of
you just said is
driving
wrong. That's not
drunk,
true."
and which
And
is
he'll
why I
sit there and yell at him,
do another
and then
ethics
block
complaint
him.
against him.
I
Let's
can't
see.
stand the blocking. I have literally.
Funeral director.
I don't think I've blocked
Think
one
your
person
bike
my
will
whole
beat
life,
my Stang, brother. No, I'm a cruiser.
and then they
I
even
cruise. That's
comment.
it.
They
And by
DM
the
me
way,
on
I
a
must
different
take them
account
to kick the shit out
apologizing
of
because it
the
was just so over the
fucking
top.
parody.
It's like it's got to be huge. I'm not gonna block anyone
Lala,
for a
not reading
difference of
that.
opinion, or it's got to be
Director,
Yeah.
bad.
sorry.
Yeah, the only
so is-
people I have blocked are
I can't wait.
spam accounts.
Oh yeah, those two.
We did that.
Just spam. I don't care. Anybody can say anything they want about me. I don't give a shit. Go for it.
Wait, you mean those women
mean
with one
get
name
over
that
it
are
like
hardly
Trump
clothed that
did?
want to be my friend on
After he
Facebook? They're not
lost, you
real.
mean that kind of get
I mean,
over
on
it?
X,
You
they're
mean
not
like it
real.
wasn't an
I have bad
insurrection? You
news for you,
know
Nick.
the
Yeah, I know. Like you look through all my followers, and like half of them are these bots. Are those?
Oh yeah, I get like
the
I
women
get.
bots. Yeah.
And what's funny is they always respond like I'll post something and it's like I'll get a
yes,
notification
this is
right
true.
away and it's like, oh, some
Yes,
bot
she
really
had
liked my political
She had
opinion
a
right
Vince
there. Yeah.
tattoo and a JD tattoo. She is a loon.
Yeah. Mommy
Anyway,
is a loon.
everybody, thank you for watching. And I'll be back here for one last show of the political show next Sunday. And then you won't see me anymore. So
Sure.
I had a great time.
Oh, he's coming
I
back with
think
his
Trump
political
is
show.
an
I
idiot,
guarantee
and I
you.
think you are all
Which is going to lead back to him
totally
coming
gonna
back to the
realize it. In fact, I
Dabbleverse.
was talking to a
100%.
girl.
He's got to be dying
Well,
for
that
money,
was
man. He's
very sad.
struggling, my
She
guess.
told me that she needs her Medicaid to pay for all of her medications. If she doesn't get them because she's bipolar, she's got all these different disorders. If she does not get them, she said she'll die. And
Well, she's
these
in her
are the cuts
80. She's like 83
that
now, right?
this administration is doing.
If that's who he's talking
So
about his mother?
eventually,
Yeah.
I
it'll
think so.
affect,
I don't know.
maybe not you, but it will certainly adversely
Bipolar
affect
can be serious, but it's
a
not going to
family
kill you.
member or
It's a
friend.
mental
No.
disorder. Yeah.
You have yourselves to blame for it. Those that
Shame
vote
on you, Liquid
for
Crypto.
this lunatic.
What?
Okay.
He's blaming you for his
Blame
mother's
yourself.
health issues or whatever.
The guy
Oh, well, it's my fault.
does not care about you.
I agree. I
He's
personally
a prick. Anyway,
said
this
that,
is Stuttering
Rosa
John
Melendez
saying goodbye.
needs to have her Medicaid removed. Just her.
I better kill that before he strikes me. Let's take you
Wait,
down.
is that even John? Wait, is that John? Back that up a little bit.
Sure.
A family member or friend, and you have
What,
yourselves.
is that John, or did he just find this picture that somebody?
those that
I
voted
think this is
for
I think this is some sort of edit.
Okay, you can only blame yourself. The guy
He's a loon.
does not care
Oh.
about you. He's a prick.
Guess
Anyway,
what? No
this is
president
Stuttering
cares
John
about you.
saying
No, they never do.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
I guess like his mouth doesn't look right.
Unless it's edited or oh god.
I guess so.
Yeah. Sloppy John. All right, John, let's take you down. I almost removed myself. All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what did we learn today about about the state of modern politics? Nothing.
Nothing. When I saw the "I Stand with Ukraine" shirt, I knew what the focus was going to be.
Yeah, but he always wears that shirt.
Yeah. How embarrassing! Like I think I've told you, taking a side, I'm on Ukraine's side, but I'm not. I actually have a Ukrainian church on my street. You know, like big flag and everything. It's like so. I live in a neighborhood with Ukrainians, and I back them up, but I'm not buying I Stand with Ukraine shirts. It's not my.
No, I mean you can support somebody, like it's like the same thing. Like I mean, I did vote for Trump, but I don't have a MAGA hat.
Right. I think I'm even with you when it comes to Ukraine. I'm humanitarian aid is where I'm at. I don't want to get boots on the ground and.
Why did it turn off the?
Want me to take you down?
No. It just for some reason turned off the streaming.
Everyone's getting to see how the sausage is made now, behind the scenes.
Oh no, this is well, no, you can't actually see my screens on this one. This one you can actually see the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for those who let's see here. What is going? Keep going.
So everyone that you get a visual difference. See, I fight for the working class, and look at all the big tech this Elon guy has over here. Getting it up. So yeah, just John. I guess the highlights were when John was totally lost. When Ojeda and Brian be talking about something. We got the ear rub a couple times.
He got in there pretty good too.
Yeah, got to insult. If you disagree, you live with your mother. Apparently they're upset that Trump installed his own people. Again, I am no Trump fan, but every president puts in their own. I guess the one thing you could say is I don't think they usually fire too many generals or whatever, but other than that, they put some people in there.
And that's the right camera mode. But
Pretty
yeah,
good.
it's like, well, it's Ojeda, man. It was like, with the I don't know why it's doing it. It doesn't matter. I can see what I'm saying.
I was even thinking it might be fun to stream an Ojeda stream some night. I think he only does like half-hour shows or whatever, so we can.
Yeah, and it's only about 20 minutes of content, maybe 15.
I've only watched a couple, so I don't really know what he talks about most of the time. But
it's the first like 10 minutes is roll call, and then he says a few things. And then he says a few things, whatever the daily talking point is on X, and he'll show a few TikTok videos of people that he likes, and then he'll go into the memes of the day, which finally they got rid of the stupid elephant animation coming and going, Hunter's laptop. Like they've been doing that, saying, like Republicans are crazy. Like he's been have that in front of his memes of the day for like long after they got all the data off of Hunter's laptop, and Hunter went to jail for shit on his laptop.
Yeah, the Hunter, that thing's like, just my opinion, it's embarrassing for everybody because they were wrong blaming it on Russia or whatever the hell they said. I also don't really care that Hunter bangs prostitutes and smokes crack. I mean, if he's doing
nor do I
shit with using his dad as influence, I obviously am against it, but I assume every child of a president uses their father's influence for shit, so I'm not like shocked by it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It wasn't exactly huge news. I was like, oh, well, yeah.
But yeah, but the Dems, they looked bad because they said it wasn't real or it was a hoax or whatever they said. It was Putin. Like that's another thing besides Trump derangement syndrome. It's the Russian shit because yeah, obviously Trump is not a Russian agent and all this stupid shit. But Trump did launder money for Russian oligarchs for like decades or whatever. So it's not like there's nothing there, but because they blame everything on Russia, you can't even criticize the legit stuff that's there. They killed
Well,
it.
and like nobody really cares anymore. It's like they basically got it to the point to where who cares? It's like you made these accusations so often and so loudly, and none of them have been true. That even if you do say something true, nobody's going to believe you.
Right. And they killed it. Like I said, I forget the guy's name. I'll have to go back and look, but it was a journalist, and because obviously Trump's been in the public eye for decades, and he went through and
For his
found
entire life.
all this stuff. Like I said, and whether you people think it's important or not, all the stuff involving him and Russians and money, and there was tons of it. You know what I mean? But because they thought he was a Russian agent or claimed he was a Russian, whatever the hell they said, that was just ludicrous. To me, it was always just money. It was never like he wants what's best for Russia. He wants what's best for him, like most of us, but him even more so. But yeah, they killed it. You can't even, especially Rachel Maddow. You can't say anything about Russia because of that crazy chick.
Oh yeah, their whole Russia Gate thing,
Yeah.
where they're just constantly Russia this, Russia that, and it's like every single bit of it proven to be fake and false, even up to impeaching the president over
Right.
shit that was already proven to have been falsified, months before they have the impeachment, but they still go through with it.
That's what kills
The
me.
Steele dossier, is what I'm talking about there.
Could probably disagree, but I think there are borderline impeachable things Trump did, but they never went after him for that stuff. It was always stupid shit. Like even the Stormy Daniels thing, okay, I guess it's technically could be campaign finance, whatever. It's like he paid a prostitute out of whatever money so his wife wouldn't or not a prostitute, sorry, paid hush money to a porn, whatever he did. I don't care. Just like I don't care what Hunter did with his dick. It's not my business.
Oh, exactly. And it's like it's Trump. Did anybody not know that he was like this horn dog who likes younger women?
Right.
Was somebody like did somebody not know this? Was somebody not paying attention for the past 40, 50 years?
Like I guess it's funny, but somehow like it's not even gonna hurt him with most people. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it's because especially people who support him, we know who he is. We know what's going on. We know the score.
Hey, when the Dems turned their back. I'm sorry, they turned a blind eye to what Bill Clinton did. So obviously the right wing too. No one truly cares about that shit. I don't think.
I mean, even still, like the whole Monica Lewinsky thing with, and this was at a time when I was huge Republican. I was all in on the Republicans at the time when the Monica Lewinsky thing happened, and even I was like, who gives a shit? Why are we impeaching him because he got a blowjob in the in the Oval Office? Who the fucking care? You're telling me presidents aren't getting blowies in the Oval Office?
That's funny because that's I know we talked about Cenk Uygur, TYT briefly. He was a Republican when he was younger, and he always mentions that's what started turning him when he saw like they were focused. He's like, why do we care about this? Let's blah blah blah. And I don't know, that's when they were focused on Clinton's blowjob, and he didn't think it was important at all. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things people use. If it happens to the other side, you're like, ooh, but when it happens to your side, you don't care. So it's a non-issue as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, if it's something that happens on your side and you don't care, then if it happens on the other side, you should probably also not care.
100%. Yep.
And that's kind of that's where I'm at. That's where I've been at for a pretty long while. You sit here, you got one side completely, absolutely going after the other side for something that their side is already done, and it's like, well, you didn't care then. Oh wait, that's because it's your side because you're playing too many people. It just comes down to, especially since Trump's first term, is too many people are playing team sports with politics, and that's not
absolutely, absolutely.
that's not the way politics is supposed to work. In fact, you're supposed to be the most critical of your team. Like,
right.
That's how politics is supposed to work.
That's why, like, when Karem kind of attacked the conservative journalists in there, I agree with him, but I almost think he's just as bad. Like, he tries to claim he's not a Democrat, but he is. Or
100%. 100%.
I hate when people do, like, I can, like I said, I'm not gonna hide, I have left-leaning tendencies, but I hate that fucking party. And I'm not just gonna sit there and badmouth Trump and the Republicans and give the Dems, which seems to be, when Karem criticizes the Dems, it's always about like strategy. It's never really about like, things they're doing. And I remember when I used to comment on that show, I would bring up the bribes and corruption, the corporate bribes they take. And him and Ojeda would just be like, Ojeda would be a little better with it because he used to be good with that shit. But Karem would be like, well, that's both sides. That's just politics. We got to change it. I'm like, I know, but it's bad. If it's bad for them, it's bad for all of it, man. And you're taking sides on it as a reporter, and you're supposed to hold truth to power, whatever the hell the saying goes.
But Karem isn't about that.
No, right.
Karem's about being in the White House again and being a White House correspondent. That's all he cares about. But he cares about getting his excuse me. He cares about getting his prestige back.
Right.
And salon.com probably ain't doing it. That's why I say he's literally the John Melendez of journalism. He's been embedded in Iraq. He's been a White House correspondent, and now he's an opinion writer for salon.com.
Unreal.
It's like, well, apparently his talent couldn't support his unearned positions that he had.
His DEI.
I don't think he's DEI. I think I'm just joking. He was just, hey, let's send this guy.
Yeah. I think I've only seen him on one other thing, and it was funny. I was just, obviously watching a lot of political stuff. You get the recommendations. Some YouTube thing popped up, and he just happened to be one of the guests. There was like 3 people. So I was like, and I didn't really watch much of it. I remember I shared it on X. I'm like, holy shit, Brian Karem. And then of course everyone just started commenting like, do you know this guy, Sports Stuttering John, who does this, that, this, that, and the other thing? And the poor people hosting the show have no idea what they're talking about, But like I've seen a lot of Ojeda. I haven't seen Karem. I've only like you said, Ojeda through John. I know Karem through John. I didn't know this guy before this.
Oh, same. I didn't know him before. I follow Karem. Does a lot of posting on X. So, like, he posts links to all his articles there on salon.com on X. So, and I do read his articles and comment on them on X. That's the best way to talk to Karem. I follow Ojeda on YouTube.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really interact with I occasionally catch him live. But generally, I just watch the VOD if I watch it all. And but he is mostly a Facebook live channel that happens to have a restream on YouTube. So if you want to actually talk to him or interact with him, you got to watch him on Facebook.
What a boomer!
Yeah.
Even older than me. Yeah.
And I suggest following Ojeda Live on YouTube and Turn Left Pack. Turn Left Pack is the political action committee that, or political action, not committee, it's PAC. It's a
like
political action.
Political PAC that takes,
But anyway, it's a Turn Left Pack. It is I suggest following them on YouTube. They are. It's him and John, not John Melendez. John, his I guess his real quote producer or his partner or whatever you want to call him. I guess he's like a producer, but he's about as boomer as Ojeda. Like he can't work anything either.
Nice.
But man, they are just out of touch. They are wildly out of touch with just, the regular common person. It's like they put up this billboard, it's supposed to be anti-Trump, but it was like, if you're just a regular person, like living, especially if it's a conservative area, which I think it was, that they put the billboard up, and it made big Trump sound like a badass. They're like, he's like, Trump's going to kick out all the immigrants, and who's going to pick your vegetables then? And I'm looking at him like, maybe you should check out the arguments on the other side of the aisle before you start just throwing your shit out, in the middle of these areas where people are going, yeah.
I think I heard him. I think I heard him talk about the billboard on John's show at least once. Yeah, they don't think with not just them, but even when people are like, oh, Trump's racist. I actually do think Trump's racist, but obviously that hasn't worked. So move on to something else,
Yeah, see, I don't believe Trump. Well, I kind of believe Trump's racist. He seems to me like he really likes to, I don't want to say lick the boots, but I mean, okay, let me put it this way. Like, you've seen like John, right? Like, you've seen the one where like Alex Stein was on and he had his black friend on.
Yeah.
And John is just down there just sucking this black guy's dick like you wouldn't believe, He is just in there. He is just slobbing the knob and juggling the balls, right? Anytime John gets a black person on, he is just, let me get down here. I mean, are your boots appropriately licked? And I think Trump has a lot of that, where I think he actually favors black people like that, which, I guess is fine. It's fine.
I think he likes the powerful one. But where I will defend him is not defend him, but I don't really think he's homophobic, transphobic. I think that's all like almost like an act for the like he, the parties he went through in New York and I bet you he partied with so many gay people at like Studio 54. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the wild thing is, you look at all those, stone cold sober.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
All those parties, and he's stone cold sober the entire time. Like, he's never had alcohol or drugs or anything. Like, that's sort of been his deal like his entire life. That's a thing that he's known for.
Unless he's sniffing that UK Sudafed, but we won't know. But I think I'm right. I'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure back in the day before trans was like a hot topic, he allowed a trans contestant in one of his beauty pageants. It was like a little controversy, but not nearly the controversy would be today. So he let a trans person compete in like a trans female, someone born a male, in a female thing. So like I just think he's just going with the flow of the right wing at this point, but on those issues. So like when people even throw like these homophobic, like I don't buy it. And even if you're not persuading the people that like him when you say that shit anyway, so don't even bother.
Well, yeah, calling him homophobic and a Nazi and all that sort of stuff, that doesn't.
Yeah, it's not working.
It only works with the people who are already not going to vote.
Right.
For him.
Yeah. I don't know what you do. I think you got to focus on economic things and maybe, I don't know, try and like the people that love him, I guess they think he's, I don't even know. You got to try and prove that.
How about just telling some truth?
Yeah, well, right, but
I mean, you can start there. We could start by how about not lying? How about the Democrats become the transparent party of the we're not going to lie. We're going to, we're laying everything bare. These are our people who are under the thumb of these companies or whatever. These people took that, maybe clean house a little bit, maybe become the party of truth and transparency, that Obama promised, but, never actually delivered on.
I got a question. I actually would love to know how you feel about this. Do you think? All right. So I'm pretty sure you know, like Bernie is not like the regular I'll just use Bernie
yeah.
as the example. Okay. Do you think that the Democrats fight harder against someone like Bernie than they do Trump to like not get elected? Like, I honestly think that the Democrats rather have had Trump in 2016 than Bernie and having to like support Bernie because, like, at least with Trump, they can like, I mean, it's always easier when you're not in power because you just get to criticize everything, and and oh, we would do this better. But it's like the Democrats. So there's a part of the Democrat wing now called the Justice Democrats that actually Cenk Uygur and Kyle Kalinske co-founded. Now they both like dropped out of the organization. But basically, it's just a way, like you have to promise to not take corporate PAC money. And like AOC was one of the first ones, Ro Khanna, Rashida Tlaib, and they've gotten more and more. But the Democrats, like in their own primaries, they put so much money to fight like Nina Turner, like people like that, almost like more than they do to fight the Republicans. So I it's just an opinion I have, but it's like I honestly think that they fight progressive left leaning progressives more than they fight like Republicans, or they fight harder anyway.
Yeah, I can't really speak to that. I guess I mean they definitely don't like Bernie,
right?
For some reason.
Yeah, it's I'm personally involved, so it's tough for me to know if my bias is getting, you know what I mean? I truly believe that, but I have to be honest since that's my guy, or those are
Well, I
my
mean,
people,
it was it was the same way with Trump. It was just he had such. I mean, well, Trump's first term, he didn't have Republican or Democrat
well,
support at all.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
the Republicans even hated him.
Nope.
Republican politicians, I should
Yeah.
say, the Republicans in D.C.
They thought he had no chance. Yeah.
Yeah, he had no support with Republicans
Yep.
in D.C. at all, and definitely not the Democrats. And it was just he had such overwhelming. Well, I think what happened is like nobody expected him to win, so there was
Right.
nobody had anything in place to stop it.
I was gonna
He
say,
accidentally won because nobody was prepared for his win.
yeah,
So nobody was.
2016 Trump is
Yeah.
the ultimate proof that we have a uniparty, because I totally believe the Republican Party, not Trump, but the Republican Party and Democrats both thought he had no chance, so they didn't take him seriously, and they were like, this guy, no fucking way. All right.
And then when he got in, both of them were fighting everything that he did.
Yep.
Yeah, he was getting it from both sides.
Yeah, people forget
in
that.
his first
Yeah.
term.
Nope, absolutely. All right, do
And
you want to wrap
which is of course is
sorry,
what
Dylan.
people liked and what got him this next term. And
Yeah,
actually, I think I think it's actually better that he had that 4 years off in between, and we got a Joe Biden in the middle, at least specifically for Trump. I think it worked specifically for Trump very well to have that 4 years in between. And also he became a lot more politically savvy in the meantime. He got the opportunity to do that rather than, because he didn't. I mean, he's even said in an interview, all of a sudden he won. And he's like, what? I don't know how to do this.
Oh, do you remember the night he won? He looked like almost like depressed, like, or shocked. I don't know the way you want to say, but he was not as enthusiastic as like they usually
Oh,
are.
no, would you?
Yeah.
If you were running as a joke and then all of a sudden you won, you're like, oh, wait, now I got to do this bullshit?
Yeah. So, all right. So, like I never looked into it, but that movie I was telling you about, that Ojeda's in, the Michael Moore movie, Fahrenheit 11/9.
Yeah.
The way he covers it is that Trump, he believes, or I don't even know if this is a known thing, but that Trump ran. He found out he was trying to get a raise from NBC on The Apprentice. Found out like Gwen Stefani and other people on The Voice are making more money than him, some shit like that. So he came down the escalator. It was going to be a little publicity stunt. He booked two campaign rallies, but that was the famous, the Mexicans aren't sending our best. They're rape. That's, so he gave that speech. So then NBC fired him and got rid of the show. And supposedly his two oldest sons talked him into just doing, Dad, just go do the rallies. It'll be fun, blah, blah, blah. And all these people showed up, and because they loved what he said on that thing. So he just kept booking more rallies and more. So the whole thing was like almost like a farce to try and get promotion or get like a raise from NBC, and he ends up becoming fucking president. So if that's
just
true,
to show, how much people, how little people like career politicians anymore.
Right.
I mean, that was sort of the same thing with Reagan, right? Like that's how he got it, because basically he wasn't a career politician.
Yeah. Actor, became political in California, and then got the presidency. Yeah.
It's like people don't like career politicians.
No, they don't realize that. That's why the Dems are so dumb. They don't get that. That's where they. And I even underestimated Trump. I'm not going to say I didn't.
I way underestimated Trump.
I didn't. He had that lead early in the Republican primary, and I thought someone was going to close in, and I thought when they'll start dropping out, but nope. And then
the first time I was like, it's going to be Jeb. It's got to be Jeb. It's supposed to be Jeb.
It always is. Yeah. It's Jeb.
But then it wasn't. And I was like, huh?
Yeah. Please clap.
Yeah, please clap.
There was a great part in that movie too, where even Michael Moore said he loved when Trump just knocked down all the Republicans and neutered the final Bush or something like that. So, all right.
Yeah, I thought we were definitely in for a Bush Clinton thing going on for the rest of our lives there for a minute.
I'm even worried. Not worried. I actually read today that Don Jr. is supposedly thinking of running in 2028.
Nah.
I was like, oh, good.
JD Vance has a chance. I think Vance can win 2028.
So far, yeah. I was actually, he's doing better than better image-wise. Obviously, we might even agree on this. The vice president has almost no power unless the president dies. It's like just a.
It was, I think, Andrew Jackson. He was the first vice president, right? I think he was
Washington. Yeah.
I think it was Andrew Jackson. I think it was Andrew Jackson that said, I'm not exactly specifically sure, but I remember some vice president say it's the most worthless position in government.
It's funny
as vice president,
right? As a kid, I never realized that. Then I got older, and I'm like, like when I got into politics, they're like, you basically pick someone who does better with a different demographic than you, so you can try and win the presidency. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's basically your vice president is to shore up a weak demographic within your base. Is what your vice president was for. Oh, and tie-breaking vote in the House, and also he becomes president if you get dead.
Right. It's like
that's his duties. That's the vice president's duties.
One heart attack away from being powerful, but until then, nothing.
But Vance is pretty much killing it, man, as vice president. I don't think I've ever seen a vice president as around.
Yeah.
As much as Vance has been. Normally, a vice president comes in. I mean, even Pence was like, he's the vice president. Where is he?
Right.
Kamalo's the same way. Bush Senior, when Reagan was president, he was just like, sort of what's Bush doing? Like, I don't know. He's out doing vice president things, which is probably sitting at home drinking a beer, watching the game.
Don't forget, Pence wasn't allowed to be around other women without his wife.
Oh, that is true. Yes.
Yeah, that whole creepy thing. Yeah. All right. Do you got anything else, or I'm pretty much good?
I think we got it. I think we about covered it. I actually think that. Well, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about program stuff later.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's good, man. We went an hour and a half, and I think it went all right. All right, yeah. Let's shut it down. I'm rambling.
All right, we'll end it. We're gonna do the same thing next week. So if John goes live at 2, we'll be live at 2 whenever he goes live. Mumble and Nick. This is Liquid Cryptid. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
Tell me what you vote now. I'm just saying now, Democrats out. controversial stuff. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. N-I-C-K mumbling is right here. People in the house, put them hands in the air. Cause if you don't vote, then we don't care. 1, 2, 3 times 2 to the 6. Jonesing for your fix, so that devil politics mix. So where the fudge you at, punk? Shut the fudge up and back the fudge up while we fudge this track up. On your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up, on your flags up. Torn in, now we torn out. Hands up now, hands down. Back up, tell me what you're gonna touch now. Republicans in now, Democrats out. Guns up now, hands down. Black up, tell me what you're gonna vote now. Dabbling, 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 dabbling. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. Come on. Keep dabbling, 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 dabbling. 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 You wanna mess with dabbling in politics? You can't mess with dabbling in politics. Listen, we debate it all every week Saturday night, and this YouTube thing right here. Yo, we're doing it all the time. So you better get some better views and get saved up on your dime. So we got the gang set, so don't complain yet. 24/7, never begging for a rain check. Old school dabble is blasting out the political shit. The back and forth shit, put bounce in the dabble.